From the campus of Ventura College, it's time for Conejo Oaks baseball as the Oaks return to Pirate Park, looking to get their second win in a row and facing the Orange County Riptide for the sixth and final time in this CCL regular season. Alongside Sammy Fawn, I'm Calvin Kaplan. Welcome to this broadcast of Oaks baseball here on YouTube. And Sammy, today's game is a big one in the standings for the Oaks. Just a game back of the Riptide. If they win today, they'll secure the 4-2 season series win and thus have the tiebreaker to be the top overall seed in the CCL South playoff race.
And the Oaks got to be excited to have home field advantage, as each time these two teams have played each other, it has been the home team that has won. The Oaks have been the home team 3 out of those 5 times that they have played them in this season. And for the 6th time this season, these two teams play each other, and the Oaks home for the 4th time. And the Oaks coming off of an exciting week. They went 4-1-1, had a tie against the Santa Barbara Foresters on Friday. Unconventional, and then they had 2 dramatic games against the Saints. They were both comeback games, one a loss and one a win for the Oaks. The Oaks coming in with a lot of momentum, and the Orange County Riptide had their 3-game winning streak snapped on Sunday by the Santa Barbara Foresters. It's going to be important for them to get back on their feet.
Well, let's take you into the lineups for today, starting with the Riptide batting order. It begins with the center fielder Trajan Rogalski, followed by the right fielder Alex Dolan and DH Jarrett Sable. Third baseman Madden Akko is making his debut this season, batting 4th, followed by the shortstop Ryan Castro, first baseman Thomas Cernius, catcher Sean Romero, and second baseman Brock Folds. Left fielder Nate Pone is hitting 9th. For the Oaks in the field, Brandon Contreras, Owen Mealy, James Latshaw from left to right in the outfield, Matthew Whitco, Zach Mora, Danny Aguilera, and Tyson Reese from left to right in the infield. Aiden Voiles is behind the plate, and making his 5th start this season on the mound, Will Kaczynski.
Will Kaczynski coming off a very solid week where he pitched 2 outings and pitched 4 total innings, 2 per game, and did not allow a run. He allowed just 1 hit last week.
Last pitched against the Saints in relief on July 11th. His first pitch on the way, bunt shown, pulled back by Trajan Rogalski as the pitch misses high. And Kaczynski's been really good all year for the Oaks, a 3.07 ERA. 14 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 10 hits, 7 walks, and struck out 16. He gets ready for the 1-0 in this righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 1.
It's going to be key for the Oaks pitchers today to keep that command consistent in the strike zone.
72 degrees and sunny here at Ventura College. The Oaks in their navy uniforms, Riptide in the all grays. Here's the 1-1. Off-speed pitch misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike to Rogalski.
Rogalski, the Riptide's typical leadoff hitter, has great contact power at the plate and has great stamina in the outfield as well.
Pitch to him. Fastball, strike 2 on the outside edge. Rogalski batting .294 this season. Just 2 RBIs. He scored 15 runs in 19 games, and he's 5th in the CCL in stolen bases with 14 entering today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outside target for Kaczynski. He offers. Swinging a foul tip into the backstop. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up for Trajan Rogalski.
Rogalski making Kaczynski work early on, and that's something that if the Riptide can do that fairly often, they're going to get to Kaczynski. The more they can do that, the sooner they can get to him.
Another 2-2 on the way. Outside target once again from Voiles. The kick and the pitch. Slider just up and away, and the count's full. Rogalski steps back in. Outfield playing just about straight away. Mealy in center field is a couple steps to the right of the second base bag. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the first batter. Here's the pitch. Off speed, just misses inside for ball 4. Kaczynski couldn't quite locate that pitch, and he gives up a leadoff walk.
Good at bat by Trajan Rogalski. And to get a leadoff base runner against Kaczynski is certainly key for the Riptide, especially a guy who can run like Rogalski can.
He's been good at getting walks this season. That's his 19th on the year. And Alex Dolan's now at the plate, batting .235 on the season. First pitch, Dolan shows bunt, takes a strike on the outside edge. Nothing in 1 to Dolan, who spent 2026 at Pacific, batted .275, and is now headed to St. Mary's. Runner goes 0-1. Bunted at just a little bit low, and the runner Rogowski gets to second as Dolan did just pull it back in time to make the count 1-1. Rogowski gets his 15th stolen base on the year.
Picked the perfect pitch to go on. That looked like a slider that dipped low and inside, and Voiles had too much trouble scooping it.
Runner on second to pitch. Bunt shown again. It's just low, and once again Dolan pulls it back successfully.
It's quite interesting when you think about the situation of the bunt attempt and the pitcher, even knowing it's going to be a bunt still, the command can sometimes slip.
We'll see if Kaczynski can regain it on 2-1. He comes home. Shown bunt. Pitches inside. It hits Dolan. So a walk and a hit batter to start the day for Will Kaczynski. And the Riptide are threatening here in the top of the first.
Now batting, number 20, Jarrett Sable.
Well, what happens now is certainly not promising what happens next, but Kaczynski, we've seen him persevere and battle through big moments, and the Riptide, they've got an early threat with 2 free base runners, a walk and a hit by pitch, and now Jarrett Sable looks to spark a rally for the Riptide and drive home a run.
Kaczynski's pitch. Fastball just outside for ball 1, and Jarrett Sable could be that guy to spark a rally right here. He has had a great season for the Riptide, a couple home runs, 19 RBIs, batting .244 on the year, and was the All-Star Game MVP, batting 4 for 5 and helping the North win. Pitch is a fastball low, picked up by Voiles, and Rogowski stays at second. Sable's 19 RBI total is tied for 10th in this CCL entering today. He's got a chance to drive in one with a single and maybe more if he gets an extra base hit. 2-0. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. Kaczynski loses his hat, but he finds his location. 2-1.
Kaczynski's got to keep locating well. Don't want to hang it, of course, but just got to be able to throw strikes and get in that rhythm, especially when you're already facing trouble.
2-1 pitch. Just outside. Kaczynski's been attacking that outside corner with the fastball and just not quite getting the calls most of the time.
Yeah, that one just missed a little bit off the plate. And these Riptide batters showing exceptional plate discipline thus far.
3 balls and a strike with nobody out in the inning. Kaczynski fires. Swing a drive, left side foul over the fence. So a full count to Sable, who recently committed to Minnesota after redshirting during his freshman year at USC. He's on a 3-game hitting streak entering today. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss! Kaczynski gets Sable to chase early, and that's the first out.
Now batting, number 38, Madden.
Good pitch selection there. He's thrown that pitch throughout a lot of the at-bat, and that time he gets Sable to extend outside, and he just comes up empty.
An important first strikeout for Kaczynski. And now the cleanup man, Madden Ako, is at the plate. Ako making his first CCL appearance this season. Kaczynski goes home, pitches just inside on a fastball. Ako spent 3 seasons at Fordham, batted .238 this past season, and split time between third base, where he is today, and designated hitter.
Fordham, the alma mater of Dodgers broadcast legend Vin Scully.
Next pitch. Fastball low. Voiles pumps it first. So Madden Ako does a good job of laying off that pitch. Stands in at 6'2", 195 pounds. Native of Los Angeles, California. Currently undecided on where he's headed next. 2-0 count with 1 out and 2 on. Kaczynski brings it. Check swing, but Ako went around on the fastball for a strike. 2-1.
No need to appeal to first there. Kaczynski gets him to chase one, gets Ako to help him out with that swing. Big difference between 3-0 and 2-1.
Ako spent last season in the Northwoods League with the Wisconsin Rapids and batted .287. 2-1 from Kaczynski. Slider, cold strike on the outside edge. Boy, that had a lot of snap on it. Great pitch.
Yeah, excellent movement from Kaczynski, and he's had hits and misses with that outside corner and the outer part of the plate, but that one hit right on.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and 2 on in the inning. Kaczynski kicks and deals. Swinging a tapper, left side foul on the splitter. Madanako's able to stay alive by a hair.
Riptide have been doing that all inning. They have been battling Kaczynski and really making him work. First and the third batter got to a 3-2 count. It'll be interesting to see if that happens here with Ako.
Kaczynski to the belt. He looks at second. Another 2-2. Swinging a foul ball into the screen right side. Ako just keeps fighting.
He's going to keep fouling those pitches off. He's battling Kaczynski and fighting off some tough pitches to stay alive, as the Riptide hitters have been doing.
Ryan Castro, the shortstop for today, is on deck. Rogowski's over at second, Dolan's at first. Kaczynski waits, winds and delivers. Fastball low, blocked by Voiles, and it's another early full count. And the 2 base runners for the Riptide reached on a walk and a hit by pitch, respectively.
Well, with Kaczynski having thrown as many pitches as he's already thrown, one would predict that he probably wouldn't go too deep into this game, especially if that is consistent with his pitch count.
3-2. Swung on, popped up into moderate center field. Mealy stands under it and makes the play. Runner tags but stays. A great throw by Mealy that likely would have had Rogowski at third. And that is the second out of the inning, an important one to get Madanako.
Took the words right out of my mouth, and it's a great battle from both Ako and Kaczynski. Kaczynski comes out on top as Ako, got a decent piece of that ball, skied it out to just a part of the outfield where if it was a runner on third, Rogowski easily would have scored. But first and second, a little tougher.
Ryan Castro's up, and you mentioned the pitches, Sammy. Kaczynski's already up to 25, so certainly could make an impact on whether he goes 4 innings. First pitch is a strike at the knees, and Kaczynski loses his hat once again. 0-1 on Castro, who's making his 4th appearance this season.
And not to mention Kaczynski having made 2 outings last week. They weren't particularly long outings, but that can certainly reflect in the feelings of the pitcher still.
Long pause before the 0-1. Here it is. Swing and a miss on an off speed. That one dipped below the zone, and Castro couldn't get it. Castro struck out 3 times this season, and he has 1 hit in each of his 3 games.
And this is the first time we've seen Kaczynski get ahead right away to an 0-2 count this inning.
Runners on first and second, still no hits allowed by the Oaks. 0-2. Swung on, tapped weakly over to second. Fielded by Aguilera, who throws to Reese for the easy 3rd out. So it looked a little shaky to begin the inning for Will Kaczynski, but he recovers nicely and holds the Riptide scoreless. We'll head to the bottom of the 1st. The Oaks will be up to bat next. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Stay tuned. Bottom of the first here at Pirate Park, no score between the Oaks and the Riptide. We'll take you through the Oaks batting lineup. First, the left fielder Brandon Contreras leads off. He's followed by the center fielder Owen Mealy and the first baseman Tyson Reese. DH Caden Stillwell hits fourth, followed by the third baseman Matthew Whitko. Next, it's the second baseman Danny Aguilera making his first start in second this season. Then the catcher Aiden Voiles, right fielder James Latshaw, and shortstop Zach Mora. For the Riptide in the field, Nate Pone, Trajan Rogowski, and Alex Dolan from left to right in the outfield. Madden Acco, Ryan Castro, Brock Folds, and Thomas Cernius from left to right in the infield. Sean Romero is behind the plate, and Tommy McGuire, who's a really good pitcher for the Riptide this season, takes the mound.
Carrying just a 3.24 ERA, making his 6th start of the season and his 7th appearance. And the last time McGuire pitched on the mound was on July 7th against the San Luis Obispo Blues. He was the losing pitcher that game. He pitched 3 2/3, allowed 3 runs, on 4 hits. He struck out a couple of batters and looks to deal with the Oaks here.
McGuire's got a fastball in the low 90s, cutter in mid to high 80s, a sweeper that hovers around 80, and a splitter in the low to mid 80s. He faces Contreras first. First pitch to him is that sweeper, called strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
That one came right through the back door.
Really good pitch.
Yeah, wicked movement there from McGuire.
He had an 8.49 ERA at Grand Canyon this past season, now headed to Washington for his senior year. 0-1. Contreras takes outside. And Contreras this season is batting .432, third best among hitters in the CCL. But he's just 1 for 8 in the past 2 games, which for most guys, it's nothing too crazy. For Contreras, that counts as a major slump with how well he's been doing.
Oh, certainly.
We'll see if he bounces back here, the 1-1. Slider just outside. 2 balls and a strike on Contreras.
Yeah, we definitely have not seen as much of a spark from him lately as we are used to on a consistent basis.
Played in the All-Star game, along with Arnold Wu and Dylan Jackson for the Oaks. McGuire waits for a while. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, smoked into right. It gets down easily for a base hit right in front of Dolan. So there's the spark from Brandon Contreras. He leads things off with the first hit of the game.
Brandon Contreras doing typical Brandon Contreras leadoff work. As he smokes that ball into right field. Looked like a slider from McGuire. He just ripped over the head of Brock Folds at second.
Now Owen Mealy comes up on a 3-game hitting streak. Mealy's had 1 hit in each of the past 3. Contreras extends his lead at first. Long wait for McGuire, and here's the pitch. Fastball low for ball 1. Mealy has been on base in 12 games in a row. Last time out on Sunday against the Saints, went 1 for 4 with a double and got hit by a pitch. 1-0. Slider, called strike at the knees, and boy, you can see why it can be classified as a sweeper. It has so much movement.
Yeah, that's a pitch that the Oaks are just really going to have to adjust to, and the sooner they can do that, it'll be hard for McGuire the harder it would be for him to fool these hitters.
1-1, slider low, blocked by the catcher Romero, who looks at first and gives it back to his pitcher instead. McGuire's biggest standout stat arguably at Grand Canyon, a 31-8 strikeout to walk ratio. The pitch, fastball, called strike on the outside corner at the knees. 2-2 to Mealy.
A little more of a traditional fastball, one that the Oaks should definitely be familiar with, and Mealy's got a battle now with 2 strikes.
Riptide have a lot of pitchers who can really pump it in there, and McGuire is one of them. Here's the 2-2. Off-speed pitch gets away, and it allows Contreras to take second. We'll see if it's deemed a wild pitch or a pass ball, but that allows the Oaks to get a runner in scoring position.
Pitch was definitely quite low, but it bounced right off of Sean Romero, the catcher, It allows the speedy Contreras to get into scoring position, and that's a feat that the Riptide definitely want to minimize today, is letting the Oaks runners advance for free, basically.
It is a wild pitch, and now the count's 3-2 with Contreras at second. McGuire steps off and calls his catcher Romero to come talk.
I can see that. Certainly a tough one for Romero to handle, even though it did bounce off of, I want to say, his leg gear. But tougher to handle the way it bounced and deflected in the dirt. And the Riptide already in enough trouble with Contreras in scoring position and first base open and nobody out.
McGuire's ready. Target in the middle of the pitch. Swung on, popped up right side, foul. Headed toward the Oaks bullpen. It bounces just past it, takes one hop, and goes off the field. 3-2. Contreras reached on a single moments ago. And Tyson Reese is on deck. Full count to Mealy. Big lead for Contreras. The pitch fouled off same spot. Had it over the fence this time, so a little bit more to the right.
Seems like Mealy is adjusting pretty well to not just the fastball, but really, I think, the pitch movements from Tommy McGuire, and we'll see if he can make this battle pay off.
Similarly to the Riptide, the Oaks are driving up the pitcher's pitch count, and that'll be big for later in the game. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. Contreras dancing around off second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Right down the pipe from McGuire to get Mealy for the first out.
Yeah, just an excellent location, and it certainly looked like that was a strike all the way, and Mealy just came up empty on the swing.
Time for Tyson Reese.
It's just one of those strikeouts where you have to tip your cap if you're the batter.
Absolutely. Really good pitch from McGuire. And now Reese comes up, and we'd like to congratulate Tyson Reese for committing to the University of the Pacific, headed back to the D1 landscape after last year in Division II. Pitches a slider low. And Reese is absolutely deserving, has had an incredible season this year for the Oaks. 4 home runs, 7 doubles, and batting .333, slugging .577, on base percentage over .400 at .411, so nearly 1,000 OPS on the season. 1-0. Swung on, smack to right. Base hit. It's down in front of Dolan. Contreras gets the wave. It gets away from Dolan. Reese takes second. He could have third. He's still running. The throw's only just gotten in. Tyson Reese gets into third standing up, and the Oaks lead 1-0 in the bottom of the first.
Well, that's just one example to show why he is deserving of being accepted into a Division I program, as he takes an off-speed and rips it to right field. Dolan had trouble with it out there in right field, and Reese was able to hustle. Contreras scores easily from second. Reese is able to trot on toward the end of his run on the way to third, and Oaks firing right away.
Runner on third. The Oaks lead 1-0 with 1 out. Pitch to Caden Stillwell. Slider strike. Dropped right in there in the middle of the zone. Caden Stillwell is batting .403. Entering July 14th, which is today. That is 4th best among qualified CCL hitters, and he is catching up to Brandon Contreras in that category. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They'll say he did not go around. Held it back just barely. Stillwell, a guy who's currently undecided. We're excited to see where he ends up.
He's been with this team for a couple years, knows the organization well, and they know him.
Spent 26 at Avila University. Pitch. Breaking ball just low. 2 balls and a strike. And the Riptide had a good offensive start against the Oaks. It just came on a walk and a hit batter, and Kaczynski was able to strand the guys. And right now, Tommy McGuire has already allowed 2 hits to Conejo. McGuire sets. Kicking the 2-1. Slider called strike on the outside corner. And that pitch is so hard to predict where it's going to end up.
It certainly is, and especially when it's on the outside, you know, it may start toward the middle, so you may figure that your best chance would be to make an inside out swing and try to push it through the right side, but again, it's just tough to anticipate.
2-2 with one out. Runner on third. Pitch to Stillwell. Smacked into center, but shallow. Rogowski has the play. They're going to send Reese. Throw comes in. Another throw home, and it's too late. A sacrifice fly for Caden Stillwell makes it 2-0 Oaks.
Batting number 9, Matthew Wicko.
Job well done by Caden Stillwell. Able to scorch that ball deep enough to center field. Rogowski and the Riptide with the relay with the throw being made home from second base by Folds, but Reese well ahead of the throw.
Time for Matthew Whitco, who was the hero on Sunday with a grand slam to give the Oaks a 5-4 lead in the 8th. But they eventually extended to 8-4 to beat the Saints. Pitches a fastball outside. And for Whitco, not only is he batting .371 in batting average this season, but coming off that game, that was his first home run in a collegiate uniform. He did not have a home run at Harvard in 33 games played this year. It was such a great way to get it. Dead center over the fence. 1-0. Taken low on an off speed. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, and all the contact prowess he had been building up. I had a feeling that we were going to see that long ball from him at some point. It was only a question of when, and it just happened to come with the bases loaded and the Oaks down by 3.
And that was one of the most fun moments so far this season. Pitch slammed into left, but foul down the line. 2 balls and a strike to Whitco. Danny Aguilera is on deck, playing second base today, as we mentioned, for the first time this season. A lot of these Oaks infielders playing more regular days now, as the depth has thinned a little bit. 2-1. Swinging a pop-up, left side foul, headed out of play.
Well, Whitco, with much less pressure on himself than there would be with runners on base. Both runners that have gotten on have already been driven in. The RBI triple from Reese and the sac fly from Stillwell.
2-2 count with 2 outs and a runner, no runners on. 2-0 game. McGuire comes home. Cold strike 3 on the fastball. Great pitch from McGuire to end the inning. He has 2 strikeouts, but he's also allowed 2 runs. After 1, the Oaks lead 2-0. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Top of the second at Pirate Park, and the Oaks lead 2-0 over the Riptide. Alongside Sammy Fawn, I'm Calvin Kaplan, joining you on this Tuesday afternoon. The Oaks had a day off yesterday, as did the Riptide, and the Oaks also have a day off tomorrow. Welcome sight after 6 straight days of games. For now, they're in action, and Will Kaczynski's back on the mound.
And the off day tomorrow, there was a game that was supposed to happen way back in the season between the Oaks and the Foresters back early in June. I'm blanking on the day, but then it had gotten moved to July 6th, but then moved after that, and then it just got canceled altogether. And so the last time that the Oaks and the Foresters played each other was in a tie.
Yeah, that was the game that just couldn't be played no matter what. Eventually, I think it worked out well for both teams. Foresters didn't have to travel, and the Oaks get a break for their pitchers.
Now batting number 18, Thomas Cernius.
But we're really glad to be here with you today, this afternoon, as Thomas Cernius steps in to begin the second inning for the Riptide. Cernius playing in his 16th game this season, batting .273 on the year. Pitch to the lefty. Fastball just outside, and Kaczynski loses his hat for, I believe, the fourth time today.
That's been a recurring theme throughout the season, too, and I think mostly with him.
Yeah, it's really, I think he's on the leaderboard. He's first on the leaderboard in hat losses as a pitcher. There's really no one else. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, popped up, left side, foul, and out of play. Cernius batted an impressive .308 at Princeton in 2026. 45 for 146, had 5 home runs, 24 RBIs. 1-1. Called strike on a splitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, both offenses made the starting pitchers work a bit in the first inning. It's just that the Oaks were able to come out on top and score a couple runs thanks to a couple of hits and a sac fly.
1-2 count. Kaczynski fires. Slow pitch just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Riptide still are looking for that first hit. The Oaks' RBIs in the bottom of the first came from Tyson Reese on a single and Caden Stillwell on a sacrifice fly. 2-2 count to Cernius. Outfield almost straight away. The pitch swung on and missed. Cernius chased a pitch a little bit high, and that's a second strikeout of the day for Kaczynski.
Kaczynski able to tail that one right away from Cernius. He has been handling this Riptide offense very well. The Riptide certainly made him work extensively in the first inning as Kaczynski issued a walk and a hit batter.
He's up to 33 pitches already today, and he gets Sean Romero, the catcher, next. Romero's batting .250 this season, 6 RBIs. The pitch taken on the outside corner for a strike. Also has a home run, but he's coming off an 0 for 4 day against the Philippines on July 5th. That's the only time he's played since the All-Star break. Righty-righty matchup. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. Off speed from Kaczynski. Fools Romero once again, 0-2.
He's been doing that well. He's been tying these Riptide batters up. Those off speeds and his wicked movements, they're tough to follow.
No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Pitch to Romero. Fastball roped into left. Contreras has to run back, but he has a pretty easy play, and he makes the catch. 2 outs in the inning.
Kaczynski has been able to get efficient couple of outs in this inning. Fortunate enough to get Cernius swinging and get Romero under the ball.
Brock Folds, the number 8 hitter, is up, playing in his 4th game this season. He's batting .200 on the year, 1 RBI, 3 runs. Just the 1 hit this season, coming back on June 30th against the Waves. Here's the pitch. Called strike on a slider, and Kaczynski loses his hat once again. Folds had an interesting game against the Philippines on July 1st. Went 0 for 1, but had 4 walks, so that's pretty productive for the on-base percentage. 0-1. Another righty-righty matchup here. Pitch. Fouled off right side and out of play.
The Riptide are managing to get some decent cuts against Kaczynski. They yet to get on base via a hit, as Kaczynski, he's been throwing the ball well and just not making it easy for the Riptide to catch up with his pitches.
Ahead 0-2 to Folds. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off right side, headed toward the snack bar, out of play. Folds played in 2026 at Mount Sac. Was very efficient at the plate, batted .389, and also pitched. He had 5 appearances, .675 ERA. Two-way player entering his sophomore year. Kaczynski could get out of the inning with a strikeout. Here's the 0-2. Tails away on a slider, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mealy playing moderately deep in center field, a couple of steps to the right of the second base bag. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, popped into center. Shallow enough where a number of players could get it. It's the right fielder Latshaw coming in to make the catch. A 1-2-3 second for Will Kaczynski. Nice and easy for the Oaks, who lead by 2. We'll take you into the bottom of the inning after this. Bottom of the second, the Oaks lead 2-0 over the Orange County Riptide. Danny Aguilera is coming up for the Oaks to face Tommy McGuire, who had really good movement on his off-speed pitches in the first inning. He just allowed a couple big hits.
He certainly did. Yeah, his command, I think, is there, but the Oaks, they found a way to get on top of his pitches, and that's something that Brandon Contreras is certainly no stranger to, and nor is Tyson Reese or really any of these Oaks hitters.
Those two had singles, and Caden Stillwell drove Reese in with a sacrifice fly. Pitch to Aguilera. Swung on, jammed him. It fouls off to the right and out of play.
Aguilera getting the start at second base, something we have not seen from him this season. So the Oaks really have 3 traditional corner infielders on the infield today.
We've seen David Solis make swaps like that, and usually it works out as Aguilera steps out. We saw that with Nate Lopez. He was a traditional second baseman and then went to third and made some great plays there.
And it seems like he's mostly been at third now.
Yeah, more often than not. Aguilera's hit in 3 and been on base in 7 in a row. Here's the pitch. Slider pops straight up, left side. Playable for the catcher, Romero, also for the third baseman, Akko. Catcher can't get it, it's fair! Aguilera's over at first. And that ball did just stay fair, and it's possible it might have rolled foul, except I believe it was touched.
Yeah, I believe it was, and that's just a mistake that you cannot make against the Oaks this late in the season. The Oaks have been known for punishing teams for their mistakes time and time again, and they will not hold back here.
Aiden Voiles time with Aguilera on and nobody out, and that's the second error for the Riptide today. One of them was a misplay in right field by Alex Dolan on the Reese single. Swinging a fly ball into shallow center. Folds could play it, so could the shortstop Castro. He catches it straight away beyond the second base bag for the first out.
Certainly a much-needed first out there. But it'll certainly be interesting to see how the Oaks respond to the error.
Time for James Latshaw with 1 out and a runner on first. And Latshaw has been a two-way player for the Oaks this season. Has made 4 pitching appearances recently. That came more recently than his last appearance as a starter at the plate, which came against the Philippines when he went 0 for 2 with a couple RBIs. Pitch to Latshaw. Slider outside, dropped by Romero for a ball.
Yeah, it seems like James Latshaw has certainly seen a lot more action lately on the mound than he has seen at the plate, and he's had good success at the plate for sure. Pitched tremendously for the Oaks this past week.
Absolutely, and on short rest too as he tips one foul. 38 pitches against the Foresters in the final 2 innings of that 9-9 tie, and he got the game-ending strikeout, as it turned out, due to darkness. And then against the Saints back on Sunday, on just 1 full day of rest, pitched a scoreless inning and got 2 strikeouts. It was clutch.
Like, say what you will about him giving up the game-tying run, but he pitched the Forsters. It was tough for them to get to him.
1-1. Tap to short, could be 2. Castro loses his cap, throws to second for 1. On to first, close play. Latshaw's safe by a bit.
Now batting number 17.
Well, good hustle there from James Latshaw. The ball was not quite hit hard enough to turn 2, as Latshaw has tremendous speed as an outfielder.
Really did a good job of running that one out. Stack Mora time now. Mora enters the game coming off an 0-for-3 day against the Saints with a walk, back on the 11th. First pitch to him. Just inside on a fastball for ball 1. Here's the set with the count at 1-0. Pitch to Mora. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Good job by McGuire to catch up.
Zach Mora did not play on Sunday against the Arroyo Seco Saints.
Getting back in the lineup, the pitch swung on and missed for strike 2. He has reached base in 6 in a row,
including drawing a walk in the 9th inning of the Oaks' heartbreaking loss this past Saturday against the Saints, in which they allowed 5 runs in the top of the 9th.
They had 2 runners on in the bottom and couldn't get him home. Here's the 1-2. Just low on the sweeper. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mora.
Yeah, Mora, we saw him showcase excellent pitch discipline in his last outing against the Saints last Saturday. He's been showing a bit of that lately in this ballgame.
2-2, Latshaw at first. Pitch popped up foul right side and out of play. We have not seen Latshaw steal a base yet this season. And Mora keeps fighting. McGuire's 36th pitch of the day will be next. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on first in the second with the Oaks up by 2. The delivery. Swung on and missed. Way inside. Mora chased after it. And that's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Tommy McGuire. That ends the inning. Runner reached on an error and a runner left aboard. After 2, the Oaks lead by 2. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. After 2, the Oaks lead by 2, and they've made a pitching change. Will Kaczynski is out after 2 innings, and this seems to be the trend lately for him, as that happened a week ago from today when he made a start, presumably leaving him available for a relief appearance later on in the week, like he had on the 11th against the Saints. It's time for Caden Ceramic now, who's making his 9th appearance on the year.
Kaczynski did also get worked quite a bit in the first inning, throwing close to 30 pitches in the first inning alone, so that was kind of an indicator early on that he probably shouldn't go too much longer.
Ceramic will try to eat some innings. First pitch bunted at, pulled back, and it gets away to the backstop. Ball 1 to Nate Pone, the left fielder, and Ceramic has a 4.70 ERA in this season for the Oaks. Pitched 15 1/3 innings, allowed 12 hits, walked 14, and struck out 12, and he's hit 5 batters, so sometimes location's been an issue. He delivers a strike. Not that time. 1-1.
I was just going to say, yeah, Ceramic, he's had excellent command for the Oaks and just looks to keep getting into that consistency.
1-1. Tails low and away. 2 balls and a strike. We see him go with the 2-seam fastball, the slider, the cutter, and the changeup. 2 glove side pitches, 2 arm side pitches, and mixes them in. 2-1. Fastball hits the batter Pone. So we mentioned the hit batters being an issue for Ceramic. That's 6 now on the season. Pone reaches first.
Yeah, second of the game, and we'll see if this time the Riptide can capitalize on it. Kaczynski was fortunate enough to escape that trouble back in the first inning. And that's not something that the Riptide can afford to let the Oaks get away with too many times.
Still no hits for the Riptide, but Trajan Rogowski is the top option to change that. First pitch, fastball slammed into the screen right side, 0-1 to Rogowski. Rogowski walked to begin the game and stole second. Stolen base didn't end up mattering with Alex Dolan getting hit by a pitch, but both runners got stranded. Game-tying run at the plate in the top of the 3rd. Ceramic nods. Runner goes the 0-1. Taken low and away. Throw to second. Close play. Tag is down. Runner's out! Danny Aguilera with the nice tag to go get Pone, who was trying to gun for his 6th stolen base. He doesn't get it, and that's a key first out.
Well, you know what zone that throw was thrown in?
What's that?
The tag zone.
Yes.
Right. Danny Aguilera just had his glove down, and the throw was right there.
1-1 count, nobody on now. Pitch gets away from Voiles, and credit to Voiles for a great throw as well. I mean, it was just, like you said, in the tag zone. Aguilera made the play, and it didn't really look like Pone was necessarily out. It was just a very quick transfer.
Yeah, he got a good jump, but the throw was just perfect.
2-1, here's the pitch. Swinging a chopper to short. 4 hops to Mora, who throws to first and gets the runner Rogowski by 2 steps for the second out.
And a big difference between there being 2 outs, nobody on, and potentially first and second with 1 out, because Rogowski has tremendous speed right there, and if Mora had to throw to second first and then Aguilera throw to first, I don't know, it would have been a closer call at first base.
We've seen the Oaks pull it off, but it's also tight on those slower rollers. Here's Alex Dolan, first pitch. Swung on, tapped foul to left and out of play. Dolan got hit by the pitch in the first. He's also got a lot of speed. 9 stolen bases on the year. Pitch up at the helmet. Down the middle, though, 1-1.
Yeah, Dolan was hit by a pitch his first time up, and that was the first 2 that reached via free passes.
1-1. Popped up left side and out of play. Ceramic is still looking for a place to play next season. He redshirted at Oklahoma State in 2026. And for a redshirt player, these innings are especially important because it's really the main live looks that scouts get when they're trying to add players to their roster in the fall and in the spring. Pitch, low and away. Gets away from Voiles, and he gets it back from Dolan, 2-2. Speaking of redshirts who got lots of reps, Jarrett Sable is on deck. Might be the most heavily used Riptide player this season. Played in 26 games. That's a lot already for summer ball.
Certainly is. That's a little more than half the season.
2-2. Skips in the dirt, 3-2. And the Riptide have played more games than the Oaks. They're on their 32nd game. The Oaks are on their 27th. So Jarrett Sable, playing in his 27th game, has played in as many games as the Oaks team has all year. 3-2. Swing and a miss. That ends the inning. Alex Dolan gets retired. That's the first strikeout for Caden Ceramic. A hit batter, but nobody left aboard. After 2.5, the Oaks still have a 2-run lead. Bottom of the third, and the Oaks lead 2-0. It's Tommy McGuire again to pitch. McGuire allowed the pair of runs in the first, but settled in the second. We've talked about the movement on his pitches, particularly the sweeper, being really effective. But credit to the Oaks. It always seems like they rise to the occasion, even against really good pitchers.
They certainly do, and they did that in the first inning with Contreras leading it off, and he leads it off right here against the Riptide. And he just got off to that classic Brandon Contreras start that we're used to. And when he gets on, that puts a lot more pressure on the opposing teams because they've got to keep their eye on the speedy Contreras, but also dealing with the guy at the plate. It's like a double whammy.
He really is the perfect leadoff hitter. So much contact hitting and so much speed. First pitch, low and away slightly. 1-0 count to Contreras, who hit the single into right his first time. Recently committed to Cal State Bakersfield, really worked hard to get there from Ventura College. 1-0. Swung on, chopped highly over to first. Picked up by Cernius on a hop, and he steps on the bag for the first out.
And the way we've talked about it before, as that's certainly a good start for the Riptide in the inning. There were moments when Contreras didn't necessarily think he was going to continue. He's dealt with injuries, and he thought he was done at one point, but then he was told, hey, give it another year. You have another year of eligibility. He took it, and boy, has it paid off.
Good thing for him and good thing for the Oaks. Now Owen Mealy is up. Struck out back in the first. Pitch. Slider low and away. Mealy had a 1-for-4 day against the Saints on Sunday. Played at Cal Poly this past year. .333 average, went 3-for-9 at the plate in 12 games played, as Cal Poly made the NCAA Super Regionals. Next pitch. It's a strike on the inside corner. Again, the slider from McGuire. It feels like he throws that pitch more than his standard fastball.
Yeah, that one in particular, if you're Mealy, you almost think it's going to hit you at first, and then it just slides right in. That's in the name.
Absolutely. Wind in the 1-1. Another slider swung on and missed. It's a really good pitch for McGuire. It mixes up the speed, has a ton of break. Got Mealy to strike out the first time, and now it's a 1-2 count with 1 out. McGuire really seems to have found a bit of a groove. Kick in the pitch. Slider gets away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mealy.
Mealy went down via way of the K his first time up.
McGuire from the stretch. Winds and delivers the 2-2. Check swing on a cutter. No swing, says the first base umpire. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out in the inning. Target down the middle against Mealy. The pitch. Check swing. Mealy takes first base after laying off the off speed. Great adjustment after he struck out swinging in the first.
Yeah, great at bat by Mealy, and he's able to stay patient there and not get tripped up by that slider, which earlier in the at bat had dropped right into the zone.
Time for Tyson Reese with Mealy over at first. Reese had the RBI single to drive in Contreras in the first inning and advanced to third after it was misplayed by Alex Dolan in right. First delivery. Sweeper called strike on the inside corner. And that's a tough pitch to hit as well. For Reese, a lefty, it's going in on you, and you never really know if it's going to tail too far inside.
Yeah, you never frankly know if it's going to hit you.
0-1. Sweeper tapped foul right side toward the Oaks bullpen. 0-2. Caden Stillwell is on deck. Stillwell had the sacrifice fly to drive in Reese. Just about 55 minutes into this game. 0-2 count, 1 out, and a runner at first. Pitch. Fastball just outside and away. Ball and 2 strikes to Tyson Reese. Outfield deepest in right, which is where Tyson Reese likes to hit all of his home runs. He has 4 of them.
Hit one on Sunday against the Arroyo Seco Saints.
Added some insurance for the Oaks, who are up just 1 at the time. Runner goes 1-2. Gets away. That allows Mealy to get to second. He did a little Superman pose as he opted not to slide head first, knowing that the throw wasn't going to get there.
Well, he picked the right pitch to go on, the easiest pitch, as Romero was unable to hold that one in.
That is a stolen base for Mealy, his 7th on the season. He's in scoring position. The count's 2-2. 1 out. Tyson Reese at the plate. McGuire sets. Target down the middle. The 2-2. Swung on, driven to right. Long sprint for Dolan, who catches it. Mealy tags for third. Throw comes into Folds, who does not go to third base. A productive second out, but Reese still has to go down.
Now batting, number 19.
Well, the right fielder Dolan certainly played him right. He was playing deep out there in right field, where he ended up hitting it to, almost like a no doubles defense out there in right field. And Dolan did all he could there. Made the catch, and Mealy, with his speed, was able to get to third.
He knows the scouting report. We've seen plenty of doubles out that way for Tyson Reese, as well as home runs. Now Caden Stillwell's at the plate, outside target for him. Runner on third, the pitch. Cutter just low. 1-0 count to Stillwell.
Stillwell drove home a run with a sac fly back in the first inning.
1-0 count, the set. Center fielder Rogowski shaded to the right of the second base bag. Check swing, called strike on the pitch to Stillwell, 1-1. And Stillwell's not too happy, thought it was a little bit inside. Two outs, runner on third. The Oaks already lead by 2, up 3-2 in the season series against the Riptide. 1-1. Taken just low on the sweeper. And for the Oaks, we talked about it at the top, but a win would tie them with the Riptide in the South standings, which by virtue of the head-to-head tiebreaker would make the Oaks the top seed in the playoffs if the season ended today. And fortunately for both teams, it does not. Pitch. Check swing. It's a called strike. 2-2 to Stillwell. And the Riptide, they've got 12 games left, including today. The Oaks have 10 games left, including today. So it's not like that makes a huge difference now, but down the stretch could affect things record-wise. 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Tommy McGuire strands a runner on third, and the Riptide still trail by just 2. The Oaks keep their lead after 3. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Top of the 4th between the Oaks and the Riptide. The Oaks scored 2 runs in the first inning. There hasn't been any offense since. Caden Ceramic is on the mound again for the Oaks. He pitched in the 3rd, hit a batter to start the inning, but then Pone tried to steal second and got thrown out. Then Ceramic forced a ground out and a strikeout to end the inning, really getting into a bit of a groove.
Yeah, he certainly is, and he sent the Riptide down 1-2-3 in the 3rd inning, which the Oaks pitchers have done in both the 2nd and 3rd consecutively. And he looks to work another efficient inning here. He ended, well, I mentioned 1-2-3 inning. In the 3rd inning, he did hit Pone, but Aiden Voiles gunned him down at second base trying to steal with Rogowski at the plate. And it'll be up to Ceramic here to just continue working efficiently. He's got to face the big bats, though, with Sable, Akko, and Castro.
Yeah, it was a great throw by Voiles to get that out, as you mentioned. Just his 2nd caught stealing this year. And Jarrett Sable is one of those big bats, stepping up after having struck out in the 1st. And he's been in a little bit more of a slump. I mean, not necessarily with the 3-game hitting streak, but average dropped to 244. It was in the upper 2s at one point. Pitches a fastball up and in for a ball. But you look at the slugging power he provides with 2 home runs and then the 19 RBIs and the 7 stolen bases, and realize this is a guy who adds a lot to the Riptide. Pitch. Slapped into right. There's a base hit from Sable. First of the game for Orange County.
Now batting number 38.
Great start for Orange County, the kind that they need here, down by 2 runs, and now Madden Akko at the plate representing the tying run, and we'll see if Sable provided a run spark.
Akko took his very first CCL at-bat this summer in the 1st and flied out to center. Ceramic gets a new ball. And this is an opportunity for Akko in a cleanup position to show off his power. He has a combined 8 home runs over 3 years at Fordham and 27 doubles. No triples, although this ballpark is triple-friendly. Here's the pitch. Fastball up and away from Ceramic. 1-0 count to Akko. Big lead for Sable at first, who's got lots of speed with 7 stolen bases. Pitches a strike on the outside corner, 1-1 after the fastball.
That's been the standard command and location execution from the Oaks pitchers, and Ceramic exemplified that perfectly there.
1-1 with nobody out. Game tying run is technically at the plate. The pitch to Sable. Taken for a strike on the inside corner, 1-2.
Subtle movement there from Caden Ceramic, but just enough to make Akko kind of choke up his hands a bit.
Sable at first, Akko at the plate, 1-2 count and nobody out. Runner goes the pitch, swing and a miss on a slider, throw to second, tag is down. Runner is safe by a hair. So Akko strikes out, but Sable gets his 8th stolen base.
Now batting number 40, Ryan.
Oaks come up just a tad short of completing the strike him out, throw him out double play as the throw was on line there, and it was a close play at second base. I mean, the fact is Aguilera was just unable to catch and hang on to that ball.
Close play, but Sable makes it. Ryan Castro's up, and Castro grounded out to end the first inning. Hit it over to Danny Aguilera at second. Here's the pitch, swinging a fly ball foul, headed toward the equipment barn right side. Off the bat of Castro, who is in his 4th game this season, looking for his 4th hit. Castro played at Mount Sac in 2026, batted .323, and played at UC Irvine in 2025. Didn't play much, 0 for 5 with a walk and a strikeout, but he scored 6 runs and was a pinch runner at times for UC Irvine. Mealy to the left of the second base bag in center. Ceramic looks at second, brings the 0-1. Swinging a fly ball foul right side, but well hit toward the parking lot. It bounces out of play.
Yeah, pretty good approach there from Ryan Castro. As a little inside-out swing, he's able to slice that one foul.
But a nice 0-2 count for Ceramic. Just 1 down in the inning. Outside target from Voiles. The kick and the pitch. Just outside on the off speed. 1-2 to Castro with Cernius standing on deck. Sunny skies as always at Ventura College. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to short, picked up by Mora. He looks the runner to second, throws to first, offline, but played by Reese. That was almost play of the year for Zach Mora to be able to hold the runner, but he pulled Reese off the bag. Likely an infield single for Ryan Castro.
Now batting number 18.
Yeah, I mean, Mora was able to hold Sable onto the second base bag. I thought for a moment he might take off, given where that ball was fielded, or possibly on the throw. I mean, Sable probably would have had to take off right away, and even then, it would have been a tough play for Mora to throw him out at third. But, I mean, he threw off balance all the way to first, and Reese was just pulled off the bag at the last second.
It is a hit for Ryan Castro, his 4th in as many games, and now a 4-game hitting streak. Pitch to Cernius is a fastball strike on the outside corner. The Riptide stranded 2 runners on in the first. They had runners on second, nobody out. Right now they have runners on second and 1 out, and they have their first 2 hits of the game in this inning. Go-ahead runs at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swinging a drive into right. It gets it down for a base hit. Sharply to Latshaw, so nobody heads home. It was a good throw in. Reese runs to first, and the bases are loaded for Sean Romero.
Big spot for the Riptide here as Thomas Cernius ripped that ball into right field. Hit pretty sharply, and runners froze for a split second on a line drive with less than 2 outs. So just basic baseball fundamentals. And hit a little too sharply, I think, for Sable to come home. He's not the fastest guy on the field for the Riptide, but he's got that stamina, especially enough speed if he gets a great jump. He is an outfielder, too.
Now a chance for Sean Romero to drive all these guys in. Sable's at third, Castro's at second, Cernius is at first. Pitch to Romero. Fastball high and in for ball 1. That almost brought in a run. Riptide trying to get that first run, but a double play could end the inning. Always in mind of these Oaks infielders. Wind blowing out toward right center. The 1-0. Fastball just low. 2 misses for Ceramic, and it's 2-0. Ceramic will throw his 29th pitch of the day in a moment. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a fly ball foul over the backstop right side.
It's going to be important for Romero to get as many cuts as he can if he can't get it in play on the first few tries. Got a good piece right there. Just needs a pitch good enough to drive out there to the outfield want to do anything but hit it on the ground hard within the infield that's going to be played.
Outfield at medium depth. Infield back. Here's the pitch. Swinging a drive to short, picked up by Mora. To second, gets one. Throw to first, does not come. So a fielder's choice and an RBI for Sean Romero.
Well, Romero ends up doing his job as he puts the Riptide on the board. Oaks do get an important out at second base there. The tying run is on third, though, now.
So they get Cernius over at second. Romero's now on first, and Castro's on third. Brock Folds, who flied out to right, is looking to fold one into a gap and give the Riptide a chance to take the lead. 2-1 Oaks, top of the fourth. Competitive game in the sixth iteration between these two teams. Outfield playing straight away and at moderate depth. Pitch to Folds. Fastball upstairs for a ball.
Folds flew out to right field his first time up.
Back up in his number 8 spot. Ceramic gets set. Here's the pitch. Fastball just low. 2-0 count. Castro on third. Romero on first. Folds at the plate. Here's the pitch. Check swing. It's a called strike anyway. 2-1. Just a few clouds in the sky, but mostly blue. 2-1. Way inside. Folds dodged out of the way. Otherwise, he would have been hit. 3-1.
Well, now the Riptide, one ball on the receiving side away from loading the bases. Certainly a feat that Ceramic would much prefer to avoid.
3-1 with 2 outs and 2 on. The pitch. Tap third base side. Just foul past Whitco. Maybe by about a foot.
Very, very close. As the runner on third base, Castro, was just able to hop over that one.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the fourth. The Oaks clinging to their 1-run lead. Ceramic to Folds. Called strike on the slider, and that ends the inning. Great pitch by Caden Ceramic to bring down Brock Folds. After 3.5, the Oaks lead by 1. They strand 2 more on the bases. Bottom of the fourth, the Riptide got 1 back just now, but they left 2 on base. They trail the Oaks 2-1, and Tommy McGuire is back on the mound for his 4th inning. McGuire allowed 2 runs in the first, but since then he's looked much better, really finding ways to get the Oaks out more efficiently.
Yeah, I think he's fine now overall. He's been able to recover from his 2-run hurdle in the first inning, dealing with a very tough Oaks lineup and dealing with Whitko, who he struck out his first time, but Whitko showed that promising sign of power that he's brought alive against the Saints in Pasadena with that grand slam to dead center field, too. That's, in general, that's the most difficult part of the ballpark, typically, to hit it out to, and especially at this field.
That'd be crazy if we saw it on a 462 fence in dead center over here. First pitch, off speed just outside to Matthew Whitko.
In other words, if you're parked out over there in dead center field and worry about your car, I wouldn't lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I think you're okay. 1-0 to Matthew Whitko. Called strike at the knees on a slider, and Whitko struck out looking to end the first, not the way he wanted to end it. But you said it, he's been so good for this team this season. Overall, 8 multi-hit days. Happened twice against the Riptide this season, actually. 1-1. Fastball tails outside. That time the two-seamer from McGuire, who likes to alternate between the four-seam and the two-seam and throw them at similar speeds. It feels like we've seen mostly four-seam today. 2-1, nobody out and nobody on. He delivers. Swing and a miss. Slow off-speed pitch that got Whitko early. 2-2.
Yeah, that one certainly tied him up, and he was ready to fire away there, but Whitko was about a few milliseconds ahead of it.
2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. Inside target. McGuire to Whitko. Swing and a miss again. Back-to-back change-ups that time to get Whitko. Second strikeout for him today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Tommy McGuire, he's certainly got really good stuff. He did strike out 2 batters in that first inning where he gave up a couple of runs, but he's been able to recover nicely, and he just got his 5th strikeout.
Impressive stuff. He gets Danny Aguilera next. Aguilera was not one of the strikeout guys for the Oaks. He reached on an error in the second. It was really a dropped pop fly by Romero behind the plate as it drifted to the third base side. The pitch. Fastball at the belt for strike 1.
Aguilera, we're seeing him for the first time not on the corner of the infield today, in the middle at second.
Seen him at third, seen him at first, not at second. Here's the 0-1. Fastball just inside. 1-1 count for Aguilera, who spent last season at Menlo batting .277. He's got a 3-game hitting streak, 7-game on-base streak. Of course, the error does not officially count for an on-base streak, even though he reached base. Pitch. Swinging a tapper, third base side, foul toward the fence.
Aguilera, he's been a pretty consistently reliable source of contact and has come through a number of times for the Oaks.
1-2 with 1 out. Again, McGuire's just ahead of another guy. Target down the middle. The 1-2. Swung on, jabbed to the left. Played on a hop by the shortstop Castro. He throws to first, and nice play to Cernius as Akko stabbed at it at third and didn't catch it. Instead, they get Aguilera on a grounder.
Well played over there at short by Ryan Castro. He read that hop well. And I wonder if Akko may have gotten a tiny piece of that ball off the glove. That may have caused a little trickle in the ball, but nevertheless, Castro able to maintain his focus and get his man at first.
Good play to get Aguilera, and Aiden Voiles has to keep the inning going. Voiles popped out past second base bag in the second. He pops out to almost a similar spot here. Played by the second baseman Folds, and he drops it! He dropped it! That's the second time that's happened today. Third error for the Riptide, and Voiles is on base.
He spoke a little soon there with saying that he popped it out.
That was
there
a big
again.
time jinx.
I mean, Yeah, I wonder if Folds just lost that in the sun. It looked like he may have came in a tad hot as that ball clipped off the heel of the glove, and Folds just could not hang on.
That's as routine as it gets, but just clicked off, like you said, probably the heel of the glove. It just didn't quite fall in, and it's James' last shot time with a runner on first and 2 outs. Throw over. Voiles dives back. The throw bounces, but it's blocked by Cernius. And the Riptide have had an issue with errors today, and it's really cost them. 2 dropped pop flies, and the misplay in the outfield that allowed Tyson Reese to advance to third and get brought home on a sacrifice fly by Caden Stillwell. Here's the pitch. Swinging a tapper, third base side foul, trickling toward the Riptide dugout.
Latshaw, a guy for the Oaks who has seen plenty of action, both sides, both as a pitcher and a position player, hitter.
Oh, 1. Voiles with dirt on his uniform has the lead at first. The pitch. Up high on a cutter. A ball and a strike to Latshaw. Outfield playing deep against Latshaw. Rogowski, the center fielder, is to the right of second base. Middle target, the 1-1. Gets inside, taken by Latshaw. Quickly picked up by Romero, and Voiles did not decide to go to second.
Wisely so there. Latshaw, I believe, last saw action at the plate, and you mentioned it on June 30th against Philippines Baseball Group.
Had a couple sac flies in that game for his 2 RBIs, but didn't have a hit. The 2-1. Popped up into right center. It's back deep. Dolan has to get near the hill, and he does make the play. So James Latshaw got more of a piece than maybe we initially thought off the bat. That's the end of the inning. The Oaks has 1 runner stranded on first. Voiles reached on the error. After 4, they lead by 1. Top of the 5th, the Oaks lead 2-1 over the Riptide on a sleepy Tuesday afternoon at Pirate Park. And one thing about summer ball at this stage of the year, Sammy, as we talked to Bill Pintard about this morning on the Horizon, a CCL baseball podcast, is that right around now is really the dog days of the summer when things get more tiring and you have to try extra hard to keep focus with the playoffs not here yet.
Yeah, and one thing you see more among teams is guys get a little banged up throughout the season, and see more of those, and guys come and go. You've got a number of guys who have left or have hurt their way out of the season, and a number of new guys who are coming in making their first games today, such as Madden Akko. And, you know, it's just the point in the season where you got to turn it up. You got to keep doing that, and you just got to keep that grind on. It's the point in the season where these games just matter and matter more and more. You talked about the standings and the fact that the Riptide have played more games than the Oaks. that can make a difference either way.
First pitch to Nate Pone is a strike from Caden Ceramic on the outside corner. And there absolutely is not much margin for error for the Oaks, who are one game behind the Riptide in the standings for first in the South. Pintard, the coach of the Foresters, is in the top seed in the South technically, but the Foresters play in the NBC World Series rather than in the CCL postseason, fortunately for the Oaks. The 0-1, fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, talking to him, I was also touched about what he said about how he felt about not being able to play the Oaks anymore this summer. He has tremendous respect for Solis and the Oaks organization.
Pone fouls one off.
And just, the relationships that he has built with all of the CCL, all the coaches, Coach Solis, he's been in this league almost as long as Pintard. Coming up to about 20 years.
Here's the pitch. Check swing. It clips Voiles, and he has to track it out 2-2. Yeah,
but I mean, just a guy with such a long tenure and a long history of being around baseball and just devoting your whole life to passing along that baseball knowledge to the next generations and watching them shine as you go.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, high and in. Whoa, that was close to the batter, Pone. But yeah, Pintard is one of the best at it, really great at building relationships with his players, and you wouldn't know it from how humble he was on the podcast this week, but he is Mr. Summerball, the all-time winningest Summerball head coach. It's the 3-2 pitch inside for ball 4, so it was a great time to talk to him. You should definitely check out the episode on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
And
just released earlier today.
Yeah, certainly great conversation. You get to learn a lot of insights about the CCL and about a team that's had so much success in the Foresters.
Such as getting 9 current and former Foresters drafted in the past week in the MLB draft, not the NFL draft.
That would be extra impressive.
Yeah.
First pitch,
Ooh.
Whoa, it hits Rogowski in the helmet. I hope he's okay. Looks like he's fine, hopefully, maybe just a little dazed. And he's going to talk to his manager just in case. Don't want to mess around with hits to the head as Brian Evans walks out of the dugout.
It's the 3rd batter that the Oaks have hit, and I think that's been the most extreme or shocking one right there. Just right off the back of the helmet. And don't get me wrong, it happens. But it's just one that both teams have to shake off one way or another.
Ceramic's 2nd hit batter of the day and his 7th on the season. So 2 runners on and no outs for the Riptide. Alex Dolan got hit by a pitch in the 1st, and he's back at the plate here. Also struck out in the 3rd. Here's the pitch. Bunt shown. Pitch is up for a ball.
The Riptide in a promising scenario here. They're only chasing 1 run, and they've got 2 runners on. A base hit to the outfield could score Pone from 2nd.
Riptide down by just 1. Ceramic steps off. 1-0 count right now against Dolan with Jarrett Sable on deck. Bunt shown. That time it's just upstairs, and Dolan didn't go all the way around. 2 balls and no strikes. Bunt shown, popped up over the fence, just to the left of the press box. 2 balls and a strike on Dolan.
10 more feet to the right. It'd be interesting to see the angle it might have taken.
Oh, yeah, it might have been right at us. 2-1 count, 2 on. Riptide down by just 1 to the Oaks. Ceramic's pitch, bunt shown, laid down foul left side. Now it's 2-2, and you don't always see guys bunt with 2 strikes, but sometimes it happens.
It would be extra risky here. I mean, yeah, you want to bunt the runners over, but you could also bunt yourself out of this at bat, wasting an opportunity to potentially move the runners over.
Pone is at 2nd, Rogowski's at 1st. 2-2 count, nobody out. Riptide scored 1 run last inning to cut the deficit. Here's the pitch. Slider just outside, and the count's full. And this has just been a tough at-bat for Caden Ceramic. It doesn't feel like Riptide are making things easy at all. He could load the bases if he throws ball 4 right here. Not good with Jarrett Sable on deck. Big moment for Ceramic.
He's just got to buckle down here and locate the zone and go at these Riptide hitters as naturally as the Oaks have done.
The 3-2 pitch, just outside for ball 4. Another walk. Ceramic has walked 2 batters and hit 1 this inning. The bases are loaded for Sable, and the Riptide could take their first lead with 1 swing.
With nobody out, there's not much room for error here. Certainly really none for the Oaks, and the Riptides have essentially at least 2 chances to get runners home in a sacrifice manner.
Pitch to Sable. Fastball strike on the outer half. And Sable struck out in the first, but he singled in the 4th, stole second, and eventually came home on an RBI fielder's choice from Sean Romero to score Orange County's only run today. 0-1 with nobody out. The pitch outside on a fastball, and the count's even.
Good take there from Sable on the outside pitch. Looking to at least tie this game, possibly give the Riptide the lead with a hit to the outfield.
Outfield just about straight away and at medium depth. Here's the pitch. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. 1-2.
Pressure is on both Ceramic and Sable.
Ceramic's ahead after having let 3 batters reach for free. 1-2. Swing and a miss on a pitch below the zone. Sable strikes out for the 2nd time, and that's a big first out.
Boy, what a job by Caden Ceramic to come back, having bases loaded, nobody out, and able to get Sable to just chase a tad low, and certainly a big hitter out of the way.
So Madden Akko comes up looking to be the superstar X Factor for the Riptide. First pitch, taken for a strike at the belt. 0-1. Akko flied out in the 1st and struck out in the 4th. He has the bases loaded. A double play could keep things where they are. Here's the pitch. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Infield fly rule is called by the umpire. And the pitch is caught anyway by Reese for the 2nd out.
Boy, what huge 2 outs there for the Oaks. Riptide have much more pressure on them now to bring that run home. They can only do that either by a base hit, a walk, the fortune of a wild pitch or a pass ball, or a hit by pitch.
Time for Ryan Castro. Yeah, this has changed tremendously. Castro's 1 for 2 with a single. But with 2 outs, you don't have to worry about that sac fly, like you said. Ceramic throws. Called strike down the middle.
And if you can come back from that kind of jam, bases loaded, nobody out in summer ball, imagine how much promise that can show competitive college teams and perhaps teams above that level.
Yeah, why not add this to the tape? Should be big for Ceramic. 0-1. Slammed into left center. Could be trouble. Contreras sprints after it. So does Mealy, and it falls between them. Contreras picks it up. 2 runs are scoring easily. Make it 3. A bases clearing double for Ryan Castro makes it 4-2 Riptide.
Riptide have turned the tables on the Oaks. They now lead by 2. Forget about potentially the sac fly or getting productive outs. Ryan Castro able to empty the bases there, and out comes David Solis.
This could do it for Caden Ceramic. Castro drove in Pone, Rogowski, and Dolan, and they were all able to run with 2 outs, making it an easy score. It's a meeting at the mound. We'll see if Solis just wants to talk to Ceramic. You probably want him to finish the inning unless it really turns more disastrous than this.
Looks like Ceramic's day is done.
Indeed it is. He pitched really well to start off, just allowed a big hit here. Almost got out of the jam, and we'll have a new pitcher. It's Daniel Puebla for the Oaks when we return. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Top of the fifth, a runner on second, and the Orange County Riptide have a 4-2 lead. It's time for the Oaks' third pitcher today, Daniel Puebla, making his third appearance on the season. We've seen him pitch a scoreless inning against the Saints and the Bombers, allowing just one hit in both. Puebla is an incoming freshman at Division II Oklahoma Christian University, and although he's allowed some hard contact this season, it's felt like he's really settled in his first collegiate action.
Yeah, I think he's adjusted the summer ball quite well, and he's just found ways to deal with any opponents that he's faced. And, you know, for a guy that had a rather abrupt ending to his high school career, as we talked about, under rather unconventional circumstances and unfortunate ones at that, he seems to have put, you know, those types of emotions behind him, and he's been able to settle in quite well.
Absolutely. Not to belabor the story, but with the Puebla high school career ending situation, it was because he had too many outs that he threw in a single week. 33 outs above the 30-out limit. His coach didn't realize it. Nobody realized it until after the game, and the coach had to self-submit a forfeit, which ended the high school career of Puebla and others. Just a kind of unheard of thing, honestly, that really, you can always see certain things in high school baseball. That's not one you'd expect. Thomas Cernius is at the plate with Ryan Castro at second. Cernius is 1 for 2 with a single today. Castro's now got 3 RBIs in first 2-hit day of the season. Pitch popped into center and deep, but Mealy's under it quickly, and he makes the catch. So that wasn't long. One pitch, and Daniel Puebla ends the fifth, but not before the Riptide get 3. OC has the lead for the first time today. We'll see if the Oaks can respond after this. It's the bottom of the fifth, and the Orange County Riptide have the lead for the first time all day. They scored 3 in the top of the inning off a double coming off the bat of Ryan Castro. And Tommy McGuire is still out there to pitch, throwing his 5th inning. He's thrown 68 pitches so far this afternoon, and the Riptide said, why not give him more? He's back out there making his longest start of the season.
And it certainly helps for McGuire that the Riptide were able to chip away and rally for 3 runs against the Oaks in the top of the fifth. That all came on a bases-clearing double by Ryan Castro, and that ball was smoked out to left center field. It would have been a very tough play for the Oaks to make.
Right in the gap between Contreras and Mealy. First pitch to Zach Mora. It's a slider that tails just low. And we've talked about how McGuire's adjusted to this outing. Allowed 2 runs in the first, but has looked really good since. And a lot of times it's been the slider/sweeper that has been doing the damage. 1-0 to Mora. High and in on a fastball, nearly hit him. 2 balls and no strikes.
Almost looks like Mora kind of looked back to see if the umpire might hint that maybe he might have.
It was that close. 2-0 count. Next pitch. Tap to third, played on 2 hops, but just foul. Akko had a chance to make a really great play, but it wasn't quite fair.
Just short of the third base bag there.
2-1 count. With nobody out, Mora struck out in the second. was a swinging strikeout that ended the inning, and 1 of 5 today for McGuire. Outfield playing pretty deep. Rogowski to the right of second base in center. 2-1. Slider just low, ball 3. Mora has reached base in 6 games in a row, looking to make it 7 right here. He could do it with a walk. The 3-1. Swung on, fouled off. Actually, it's fair. First base side. Picked up by the pitcher, but it's a little collision. McGuire went down to his knees and couldn't get up. That could be a hit, or at least an error, but Zach Mora is on.
Well, yeah, a couple of weird things about that play. I mean, to begin with, Mora maybe not quite sure if that hit off his footer would go foul, but he hustled it out, and I could kind of tell it was getting more interesting as McGuire was getting closer to Cernius at first, and I guess McGuire's head got a part of Cernius, and McGuire just couldn't grip the ball.
It is an error, the 4th of the day for the Riptide. That ties a season high that they set against the Foresters. Strike to Brandon Contreras. That game was back on July 9th, and it's only the 5th inning. To have 4 errors is pretty rough, and that does not extend Mora's on-base streak. As we mentioned, errors do not technically count towards that statistic. Contreras is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. Throw over. Mora's barely back safely.
Yeah, the Riptide, they have a 2-run lead, but they cannot afford to be making these mistakes if they want to come out on top on the road against the Oaks. Neither of these teams have beat each other on the road.
Yeah, so far this season, it's been the Oaks with 3 wins and the Riptide with 2. The Riptide lost to the Oaks 7-4 in the Oaks' game on the 6th season opener. Throw over, runners back. Close play, though, and Riptide beat the Oaks 12-2 on June 19th, beat them 8-2 on June 26th, then came back to the Oaks Stadium, lost 13-2 on June 27th, and on July 2nd, lost 5-3. So they've been some fun games, but also some blowouts. Finally, the 0-1 to Contreras is right here. Fastball up and away. 1-1 count.
Yes, just something about each team's respective home ballparks has seemed to set a tone.
Or at least something about each team's road drive, because it's so far to Great Park from Ventura and vice versa. It's like 5 hours almost. Throw over. Mora gets back. Throw gets away. Mora does not go to second.
Yeah, that ball was a little slow to trickle away from Cernius, and Mora not sure just how quickly Cernius would pick it up, so understandably wise decision to hold at first.
2-1 count, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. The Oaks have the game-tying run at the plate. Both teams have led at points today by multiple runs. Mora with a huge lead. The pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. 2-2.
And both of these teams' batters able to battle it out against these Riptide against both pitchers.
Contreras still going at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Check swing, it goes inside. Contreras flared his hands but did not bring the bat around, and the count's full.
That's a pretty impressive take there, actually. That's one that can be tough to tell where it's going to go.
And he just froze before even thinking about bringing the barrel. 3-2, runner on first. McGuire to Contreras. Called strike 3! Contreras not happy about it. Boy, that looked like it might have tailed inside on the sweeper, but just barely in the zone, according to the home plate umpire for the first out.
It's quite a break for the Riptide there, as McGuire is able to battle Contreras all the way through and get him down on strikes.
Controversial first out, and with a runner on first, Owen Mealy's at the plate. Huge lead for Mora. He stays. The pitch is tapped into the screen off the pole, and it redirects toward the Riptide dugout. Mealy struck out in the first and walked in the third and stole second, but he got stranded in the third. Unfortunate break for the Oaks, cost them a walk just now. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss on a fastball, 0-2. Great job by McGuire.
Yeah, he's able to just blow that one right by Mealy. And a big difference between 1 on and 1 out and 2 on and nobody out, and the Riptide fortunate to get the one in their favor with just 1 out here.
Runner goes the pitch, skips in the dirt, throw comes to second, Mora dives, it gets away. Mora almost wants third, doesn't take it. Wisely so, that's his second stolen base though on the season.
Well, a similar story to the attempted pickoff throw that got a little bit past Cernius. That one just got a little bit into center field, and it's tough when by the time you notice that the ball reaches, you're just getting up. It takes a while to build that momentum to have a chance to advance.
McGuire working on 1-2 to Mealy. Here it is. Low and away on a sweeper. And not only is McGuire's now 82 pitches, the most we've seen any pitcher throw in a game between the Oaks and an opponent this season, it's also by far the most of his season. You don't often see that in summer ball. 82 and counting. Here's the 2-2. Swung on back to the pitcher. McGuire looks at third, throws it over there. It gets away! A poor decision, and Mora's going to go home. Mealy gets to second. McGuire hesitated to try to get the tag. It was a close play, and then he threw it away. And Mealy is up to second with the Riptide's 5th error, a season high.
Well, I almost thought for a moment that the poor decision would be from Zach Mora to go to third, but McGuire, when he threw it, it just seemed like Madden Akko was completely out of position. They were off balance, and that throw just got away from him. The Riptide had him by a good couple of feet, I think, or at least maybe half a foot, and they allow a huge bonus run. That's another mistake that the Riptide just cannot keep making. It's been mistakes this inning. That run is definitely unearned because this inning started with an error, and it scored, and the Oaks scored on an error.
Absolutely, and McGuire's day is done after 83 pitches. Wouldn't have been necessarily a bad decision to throw to third had he not hesitated and then done it at the last minute. Now he's out after 83 pitches. New pitcher for the Riptide when we return. The Oaks have the game-tying run in scoring position. Back after this. A new pitcher for the Riptide after Tommy McGuire's 83. It's Sammy Petrocelli coming in to pitch with 1 out and a runner on second. Petrocelli is making his 8th appearance this season, pitched 6 2/3 innings, a 5.4 ERA, and he's got 5 strikeouts. Spent 2026 at Duke and made 3 appearances, a 6.75 ERA.
He's also got 1 save on the season, as last time he saw action in a game was on July 8th against the San Diego Waves. The Riptide lost 3-2 that game. He pitched an inning and a third, did not allow a run or a hit. He struck out 2 batters that game as well. He struck out 5 in the season.
This is an important time for him to come in with the game-tying run being at second, and Tyson Reese getting to come up to the plate. Reese had an RBI single in the first and advanced to third on one of the Riptide's 5 errors. That is a season high already. It's the most any team has had in a game involving the Oaks this season. Tyson Reese, the pitch to him. Takes a two-seamer on the outside corner for a strike.
Tyson Reese, a dangerous hitter to face in this situation. He's already got an RBI extra base hit.
Pitch hits him. So the runner was moving, and Mealy, because the ball is dead, is going to have to go back. He didn't make it quite to third by the time the ball hit Reese. Runners on first and second with one down.
It's a bummer for Mealy that he had to go back because he got an excellent jump, and if that ball does not hit Reese or gets past, that's an easy stolen base.
Yeah, he was 100% there if he had the chance to be. Now Caden Stillwell has a sacrifice fly and a strikeout. The go-ahead run stands at first. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch, just upstairs for ball 1. Petrocelli, an LA native. Redshirted at Stanford during his freshman year. From Stanford to Duke. 2 academically oriented schools. And he's got a hard fastball, curveball change as well. 1-0 count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Change up, called strike on the inside edge, 1-1. The Oaks making trouble, as they do. Here's the pitch. Check swing. It's a called strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 gone.
And the guy at the plate, Caden Stillwell, has certainly sparked what for the other teams tends to be trouble as he drove home a run back in the first.
Here's the next pitch. Swung on, jabbed into right, but foul. Leaping catch made by Cernius. What a play for the second out.
That is one heck of a play by Cernius. Ball looked like it might have been trouble off the bat. Cernius was able to track it the whole way. And that's a huge second out that the Riptide certainly needed.
Cernius says no, sir. He leapt for that one. Really had to jump out of his shoes to get it on the run, too. What a play. Now it's Matthew Whitco at the plate. He takes a changeup for a strike. Runners on first and second, now 2 outs, and that's not a ball that would have been fair. Good job by Stillwell to get contact, but just a great play at first. Here's the pitch. Another changeup just misses. 1-1.
The Oaks threaten with 2 runners still with 2 outs.
Here's the pitch. Way inside on a fastball, gets away, but picked up by Romero before anyone advances. 2-1. Mealy is at second. Reese is at first. Mealy reached on an error. Zach Mora also reached on an error and then scored on an error. Here's the pitch. Slapped into left and foul. It gets out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on in the 5th with the Oaks down by 1. Petrocelli brings it to the belt against Whitco. Here's the pitch. Gets low that time. 3-2 count. Runners could be moving here. Aguilera is on deck. Whitco has 2 strikeouts today, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Outfield deep. Center fielder Rogowski to the right of second. Petrocelli steps off and pumps it air. No one was covering second. 3-2. Swinging a chopper to second. Tough play for Folds, who can't get it. He blocks it. Mealy got a good jump and heads home. The throw is late, and the game's tied.
Oaks have re-evened the score, and you know, this inning has really been the story of errors that have led to the Oaks being able to score and come back at the Riptide. The Riptide have just left their gates open with these mistakes, and they've come back to bite them.
That one scored as a single by Whitco, but it was certainly close to being an error as Folds couldn't pick it up. The pitch is a fastball outside to Aguilera.
Yeah, that one particularly was a tough play and a single all the way. And how about Owen Mealy getting just a great jump and a great read on where the ball was, and he did not hesitate and was able to score standing up ahead of the throw.
1-0. Low blocked by Romero. So the Oaks took a 2-1 lead. The Riptide scored 4 unanswered, and now the Oaks have 2 in this inning. This is shaping up to be a good game in the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 count, 2 outs, 2 on. Petrocelli throws it low to Aguilera on a breaking ball, 3-0. Outfield deep still. Here's the pitch. Outside and high for ball 4, and the inning continues.
Number 2, Aiden Voiles.
Boy, the Riptide are really lucky that Cernius made that play in foul territory. Otherwise, who knows how bad the damage could have gotten.
And the damage has been bad, certainly, but it was certainly a huge... Yeah, it's tough to say, like, what would Stillwell have done had that at-bat continued for another pitch or two.
It's time for Aiden Voiles, who popped out and reached on an error. So far this inning, it's been error, strikeout, error, hit batter, pop out, single, and walk. Just 1 hit, but the bases are loaded, and the Oaks already have 2 in the 5th. To respond to the Riptide's 3. Time called. And boy, do the Riptide just need an out. Can't let the game blow open here after what they got offensively. Petrocelli against Voiles, the catcher. Pitch. Slapped up the middle, base hit. That scores 1 run easily. Whitco's flying home. Throw is a little bit late and offline to the left, and the Oaks lead 6-4.
Well, this is a back and forth affair. The Oaks with 4 huge runs and some major clutch hits in this inning, and some also severe errors that the Riptide have committed, starting with Mora's chopped hit, in which he reached, and then Mealy chopping it back to the mound, and McGuire chucking the ball down the left field line. And it's just the Oaks have continued to keep the train rolling.
First pitch to Latshaw, way outside on a slider. 1-0 count, and Petrocelli's control hasn't fully been there, and he just paid the price for throwing one over the plate to Voiles. Just no wins either way.
Yeah, Voiles smacked that one right up the middle.
Latshaw's 0 for 2. The pitch is low. It's a fastball, 2-0. Aguilera is at second. Voiles is at first. Latshaw at the plate. And Mora on deck, who started the inning by reaching on an error. 2-0. Swing and a miss on a changeup at the letters. Two-one count with 2 outs. And 2 on. The Oaks have 4 runs this inning. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Another changeup. That has fooled Latshaw twice in a row.
Petrocelli now 1 strike away from finally perhaps getting the Riptide out of this mess.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Swinging a fly ball into left, but playable for Pone, who runs to his right, steps in the shadows, and makes the catch. So the Oaks strand 2, but they score 4. After 5, they lead 6-4. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Top of the 6th in a game that already has had multiple lead changes. The Oaks lead 6-4 over the Riptide. They led 2-0, then the Riptide led 4-2. Now the Oaks are coming off a 4-run inning in the bottom of the 5th, and Daniel Puebla is out for the 6th. He made one pitch to finish off the 5th after coming on in relief of Caden Ceramic. So far this season, he has yet to allow a run.
Yeah, Puebla only needed to throw one pitch in the top of the 5th inning to get Cernius to fly out. Certainly provided some much-needed relief after it was Ryan Castro who emptied the bases. And by the way, that was following, ultimately, it was a walk, a hit by pitch, and then a walk, and he was able to retire the next 2 batters without allowing a run for the time being. But then Castro just unloaded and emptied the bases, giving the Riptide what turned out to be a short-lived lead.
Still an important double, though, with 3 RBIs. It really kept the Riptide in this one. Sean Romero's up first. He's 0 for 2, but has an RBI on a fielder's choice from the 4th. He batted .298 at Pepperdine over this past season, 17 for 57. In 33 games, 16 starts. First pitch to him. Swing and a miss on a fastball for strike 1. Puebla's in his 3rd appearance this season, now up to 2 1/3 scoreless innings with 2 hits allowed and 1 strikeout. 0-1, taken high and in by Romero. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Romero 0 for 2 on the day. Riptide would love to see him get going.
It's 7, 8, and 9 in the order to start this inning. Romero, Folds, and Pone. Pitches a fastball inside. 2 balls and a strike as Romero takes off his helmet, puts it back on, and adjusts his glove. Now steps back into the box holding the bat. Two and 1 to the first batter of the inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball right down the middle. Brock Folds, who's on deck, is 0 for 2. Nate Pone has reached base twice, but it was once on a hit by pitch and once on a walk. 2-2. Swung on, flied high, foul to the right side, way out of play. So it took Puebla just 1 pitch to get the final out of the 5th. Now he's about to throw his 6th pitch of this at-bat to Romero to start the 6th. 2-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball that was way high and in. First strikeout for Romero and first strikeout for Puebla, 2nd of the season for the pitcher.
Now batting number 22, Brock Folds.
Continues to work rather efficiently. Is up to this point pitched 2/3 of an inning.
It's time for Brock Folds, who flied out to right in the 2nd and struck out looking in the 4th. Pitch. Bunt shown, but he pulls it back. It's ball 1. And the Riptide stranded 2 runners on base in the 4th. Thanks to that strikeout, they scored 1 run in the inning. But Folds could not bring home any additional support. 1-0. Inside on a fastball. 2-0 count to the second baseman, Folds. Talked about Folds entering today with limited action, now 1 for 7 on the season with 1 RBI. Next pitch, on the inside corner on a fastball for a strike, 2-1. Both teams have led by multiple runs today. The Oaks lead the season series 3-2. With a win, they'd climb into first place in the South. Pitches a fastball just outside, and that would give them the season series tiebreaker with a 4-2 season series lead. And because the Foresters, who are the top seed in the CCL South, don't play in the Oaks' postseason, being second in the South behind the Foresters is all that matters for getting the top seed and avoiding the wildcard game, going straight to the divisional. 3-1. Swinging a chopper to short. 3 hops to Mora, who steps and throws hard to Reese, who stretches and gets the runner folds by a step for the second out.
Now batting, number 12, Nate Pone.
Officially a full inning that Puebla has thrown.
Now he gets Nate Pone to get to his longest outing on the season, which he would have if he gets an additional out. Pone got hit by a pitch in the third, but got caught stealing second in that inning, and then walked in the fifth. Middle target from Voiles. Here's the pitch. Fastball just high for ball one. Top of the order next. Rogowski, who's reached base twice, is on deck. Puebla deals. Just upstairs on a fastball that time, 2-0. Outfield at moderate depth. Center fielder Mealy to the left of second. The wind in the 2-0. Right down the middle on a fastball for a strike. Six to 4 Oaks. Puebla looking for a 1-2-3 sixth, trying to get his fourth consecutive batter out. Kick in the 2-1. Swinging a pop-up weakly right side toward the snack bar, out of play. The Oaks have a day off tomorrow. That's the result of the postponed, canceled game that was supposed to be the season opener against the Foresters. That got moved to a Monday before the All-Star break and then got moved again, or after the All-Star break, I should say, and then got moved again and then got canceled. 2-2, just high for ball three. Riptide at 20-11 this season. The Oaks at 16-9-1. Recently had the first CCL tie in over 4 years against the Foresters due to a lack of lights at Santa Barbara High School. 3-2. Called strike three. Goodbye, Nate Pone. Daniel Puebla dominates in the sixth. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning, and the Oaks sport a 2-run lead, aiming for more. Bottom of the sixth, and the Oaks lead by 2 in the final regular season matchup against the Orange County Riptide. With a win, the Oaks would move into a tie for first in the CCL South and be ahead of the Riptide via the head-to-head tiebreaker. They're in good shape right now. Sammy Petricelli is on the mound again. He got the final 2 outs of the fifth, but has 2 runs, neither of them earned, charged to his line.
Now batting, number 17,
That's right, the 2 runs that scored on Voiles' 2 RBI single were inherited by Tommy McGuire. Nevertheless, Petricelli has certainly faced his small share of trouble and just looks to go after these Oaks hitters right here.
He gets Zach Mora first, who started the fifth as well. Pitches a fastball high. So glad to be here with you on a Tuesday afternoon alongside Sammy Fawn. I am Calvin Kaplan. 6-4 Oaks. Both teams have led by multiple runs at points today. Pitch is slammed into left, straight to Pone, who lets it hop in front of him for a base hit. Zach Mora has his first hit of the day and make it a 7-game on-base streak for the shortstop.
Now batting, number 1.
Yeah, he's
Brandon Contreras.
just hitting the ball really well, and we've seen that throughout this season. Didn't necessarily get a whole lot of typical starts early on in the season, but he's been getting more playing time consistently, especially as July has come.
Now Brandon Contreras is up. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball just outside. Mora's at first. Contreras is 1 for 3 on the day with a single that started the game. Third in the CCL in batting average at .432 entering today. Pitch. Up high, throw to first. Mora gets in just barely as the catcher Romero tried for a back pick. 2-0. The Oaks scored 4 runs in the 5th to respond to the Riptide's 3 in the top of the inning. Pitch, bunt shown. It's laid down foul to the left side. Just a little bit too far left for Contreras. After Contreras, it would be Owen Mealy. Mora extends off first. Huge lead. He goes the pitch. Chopped weakly, first base side. No throw to second. Cernia steps on the bag, and it was the massive jump by Mora that prevented a force out at second.
Number 24, Owen.
The hit and run pays off there as Cernius had to just make the easy choice to step on first. And Mora able to help Contreras get the job done there.
Another runner in scoring position for the Oaks today. It's time for Owen Mealy, who reached on an error and got to second in the 5th, his last time at the plate. Here's the pitch. Fastball low. The Riptide have 5 errors today. That's a season high for them. They've only had 4 once all season, and it was against the Foresters last week. No team that the Oaks have faced has had 5 errors this season until today. Here's the pitch. Fastball above Mealy's head. He ducks and makes it 2-0. Mora is off second. The Oaks lead by 2 in the bottom of the 6th. Petrocelli goes home. Pitch is just outside on a fastball, 3-0. So the control for Petrocelli has been a bit of an issue. He's hit a batter and walked a batter since coming in. Pitch. Called strike. It curved back in. 3-1 after the slider. After Mealy, it's Tyson Reese, who has a single and has been hit by a pitch. Moore is dancing around the pitch. Swung on, chopped weakly first base side. Picked up by Petrocelli, gets it quickly to first, but throws it away. He gets the yips and makes the Riptide's 6th error, and the Oaks lead 7-4.
Now batting,
Well, this is a poor defensive showcase for the Orange County Riptide. A team that should be out in front in this game, given the amount of errors that they've made. As I mean, some people might have said that they saw that one coming from a mile away, just the way that Petrocelli picked up that ball and the way Mealy was heading down the line, and he just chucked that ball over Cernius's glove.
Tough day for Petrocelli as his day ends, and the thing is, for the errors, 3 of them have come from the pitchers themselves, so it's not always just about the fielders, but 6 for the Riptide is 2 above their previous season high. We'll have a new pitcher for you when we come back. Oaks up by 3, in control in the bottom of the 6th. It's a new pitcher for the Orange County Riptide as we enter one out and one on in the bottom of the sixth. Brandon Weiland replaces Sammy Petrocelli after the Riptide's sixth error came from Petrocelli's bad throw over the first baseman Sarnius' head. That allowed a run to score. Mealy's over at first, and Tyson Reese is at the plate. Runner goes the pitch to Reese. It's inside on a fastball throw to second, close play, tags down, and Reese, Mealy, is barely in there with his second stolen base of the day.
Just got in there ahead of the tag, and yeah, we've talked about earlier that with 3 of these errors coming from the pitchers, that's literally just, self-inflicted salts in the wounds.
Absolutely not helping that the fielders have 3 as well, but certainly pitchers not doing well with it. 1-0 was a strike on the corner. And Weiland has got a fastball changeup slider. Was working on a spike curve last year. We'll see if we see that at all. 1-1. Fastball low, 2-1 count. Weiland with a 4.15 ERA and 8 2/3 entering today. Played last season at Utah Tech. 12.34 ERA in 11 games. Here's the pitch. Fastball low. Count is 3-1 to Reese.
Certainly a troubling spot here for Weiland with a hitter's count. One of the most feared hitters in the CCL.
Tyson Reese in a 10-way tie for first in home runs in the CCL with 4. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball sharp to the right side, foul. Down the line, the count is full. So 6 errors for the Riptide. They've had 4 errors in a game just once this season. 6 is, frankly, just a crazy total to see. Especially through 5 1/3 innings. 3-2. Swung on, popped up, foul left side. And you have to wonder, would this game be closer if that hadn't happened? I think the answer is almost certainly yes.
Absolutely, and I personally think that the Riptide would still be in front if not for the defensive woes. Little things make that much of a difference in baseball.
Absolutely. Here's the 3-2. Swinging a fly ball, foul, left side. Tyson Reese is still going, his 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Mealy's at second. He stole second after reaching on an error that ended Petrocelli's day. Caden Stillwell is on deck. And Reese's single back in the first was an RBI where he advanced to third on an error from Alex Dolan in right. 3-2. Swinging a towering fly ball into shallow right. Up high in the sky to Dolan, who does make the play. Runner Mealy tags for third and gets there. That's the second out of the inning.
Now batting, number 19, Caden
That was
Stillwell.
not made as easy as one might think that fly ball was. Dolan had to really track that ball in the sun and just hustle towards the line. And fortunately for the Riptide, he was able to haul it in.
He squeezed and held on. It's Caden Stillwell time, not a sacrifice fly situation unlike the first for Stillwell, but there is a runner on third with 2 outs. Stillwell had a sac fly, a strikeout, and a pop out today. Still looking to get on base. Pitch. Tapped weakly to third base. Played by Akko, who throws to first. Clean field play for the Riptide to end the inning. The Oaks get 1. They lead by 3 after 6. You're watching Oaks Baseball on YouTube. Top of the 7th at Pirate Park. The Oaks have a 3-run lead, their largest of the day. Daniel Puebla is back on the mound. He's gotten 4 outs in a row since entering in the 5th, with 1 on and 2 out. He gets to face the top of the order, starting with Trajan Rogowski. Puebla's looked really good, been efficient, throwing just 18 pitches. And he gets Rogowski first, who is 0 for 1. He's also walked, though, and gotten hit by a pitch. Pitch to Rogowski. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Tipped off the mask of Voiles, and it gets picked up by Caden Stillwell out of the dugout. 0-1.
Puebla's retired everyone that he has faced so far and only had to throw 1 pitch in the 5th inning. He's certainly showcasing very promising potential as he heads to Oklahoma Christian in the fall.
0-1, swung on and missed on the inside corner. And it's huge for Puebla, an incoming freshman, to get college action before actually getting to school in what will be D2 action next year. So far, he hasn't allowed a run, and he's facing good hitters, especially today against the Riptide. 0-2 pitch, swinging a tapper into the screen right side. The Oaks are a game back of the Riptide for first place in the CCL South postseason race. If they win today, they will have the tiebreaker and be tied with the Riptide. Therefore, if the season ended today, they would be in as the top seed. Riptide, after today, have 11 games to go. The Oaks have 9. 0-2. Fastball in the dirt for a ball. And if the Riptide win, the tiebreaker, if they were tied at the end of this season, would be runs against. And it's too early to tell, of course, how that's going to shake out, given how many games are left in this season. But first, the Riptide have to come back. 1-2. Swinging a ground ball, 2 hops to Whitco at third. He throws quickly to first on a hop to Reese, who makes the nice pick for out 1.
Nice play on the receiving end there by Tyson Reese. And that's certainly an area in the Riptide's defense that has been quite shaky today.
Absolutely. 6 errors for the Riptide this season. Or today, pardon me. That would be great if it was only over the whole season, over 32 games. But no, it's all today. And that's typical, atypical, I should say, for the Riptide, who have only had above 3 errors in a game once entering today. Usually they're very stout on defense. Pitch to Alex Dolan is bunted foul left side for a strike.
We saw Dolan in a bunting situation in the 5th inning. He didn't end up bunting. He didn't end up needing to, as he would walk to load the bases that inning. The inning where Castro emptied the bases with a double.
0-1 count, 1 out, and a 3-run Oaks lead. Dolan swings at 1 and fouls it off left side, out of play. He has a hit by a pitch in the 1st, a strikeout in the 3rd, and a walk in the 5th. So far, calm for Puebla, who has gotten 5 in a row. 0-2 count, 1 out. Here he comes. Cold strike at the knees. Puebla loses his hat, Kaczynski style, and gets the 2nd out.
Now it's becoming a larger term.
Yeah, I mean, Will Kaczynski founded it. I think it's fair to say he's definitely lost his hat the most on pitches. That's the first time Puebla has this season. Jarrett Sable is up, and he's 1 for 3 with a single. Sable tied for 10th in the CCL in RBIs with 19 entering today. The 2026 All-Star Game MVP and participant in the Home Run Derby that the South won. Here's the pitch. High for ball 1.
All that being said, he's been able to be contained pretty well by the Oaks. He struck out twice.
Yeah, impressive job by these Oaks pitchers to get a guy like Sable out who has a lot of power. In the Home Run Derby, he had 4 home runs, and Caleb Hoover for the Foresters had 7, and that got the South the 11-9 win. Pitch. Fastball just outside. Voiles tried to frame it and couldn't. 2-0. Well, out of all the pitchers so far today, could make a case that Daniel Puebla has been the most efficient, although Will Kaczynski was also great with 2 hitless innings. He did walk a batter and hit a batter, though. Next pitch. Popped up foul left side. Now it's 2-1.
Puebla has really silenced this Riptide offense so far. Far more than any Oaks pitcher we've seen today.
4 hits for the Riptide today compared to 5 for the Oaks. Kicking the 2-1. Changeup floats outside. 3-1 count. Rarely have we seen Puebla behind in counts today, but he is now.
He does have 2 outs in this inning, so, certainly not a time to get frazzled, but you just got to work your way in there.
3-1 with 2 outs. Kicking the pitch. Swinging a tip into the screen. Now 3-2 against Sable. Puebla has not allowed a base runner. He's gotten 6 in a row. 3 on strikeouts. Nobody on, 2 outs, a 3-2 count, and a 7-4 Oaks lead. Payoff. Swinging a drive into center. Right to Mealy, who moves to his left and catches it. Sable lines out, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 for Daniel Puebla, who has been great so far today. Time to stretch. Middle of the 7th. The Oaks lead by 3. We'll be back. Bottom of the 7th, the Oaks lead 7-4 over the Riptide. And Brandon Weiland is back on the mound after getting the final 2 outs of the 6th. He got Tyson Reese to fly out and Caden Stillwell to ground out, and he gets Matthew Whitco first, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI single.
Now batting number 9, Matthew Whitco.
Yeah, Whitco came up with that key RBI single in the 5th, and that was kind of a low line drive blocked at second base by Brock Folds, and Owen Mealy with great base running was able to score from second.
With the hit, Whitco has now gotten hits in 3 straight games. Takes a fastball strike at the knees, and he's been on base in 10 in a row. 0-1 to Whitco, with Danny Aguilera on deck. Outfield playing deep. Rogowski to the right of second. Pitch. Changeup floats outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Whitco. Weiland's most recent outing was a scoreless inning against the Waves on July 8th. He throws. Fastball just low. 2-1 count.
Whitco came into this game a far more feared hitter after his grand slam on Sunday.
That's why the outfield's playing so deep on him today. 2-1. Fastball just low. Tried to paint the inside corner as well. Now it's a 3-1 count.
Still be a long shot even for him to get it all the way out there. 462 to dead center field.
Even with the wind blowing out, don't see it happening. 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, tapped weakly to first. Picked up on 2 hops by Cernius, who beats Whitco to the bag for the first out.
Now batting number 39, Danny Aguilera.
So time for Danny Aguilera to come up now. Aguilera reached on an error in the second, one of 6 errors today for the Riptide. He grounded out in the 4th and walked in the 5th. And he has now been on base in 8 games in a row after that walk. First delivery. Taken just below the zone on an off-speed pitch. 1-0 count. Weiland, an incoming senior back at Utah Tech, where he pitched in 2026, 12.34 ERA. Pitches low on a fastball this time, 2-0. We mentioned his arsenal. It's been fastball heavy today. We've seen the changeup mixed in. He likes the slider as well. Like we said, started working on a spike curve last year that we haven't seen yet, but we'll see if it comes out today. 2-0. Fastball just high that time. Now 3-0 on Danny Aguilera.
He reached on that error by the catcher, Romero, back in the 2nd inning.
3-0 with 1 out. Weiland to Aguilera. He deals. On the outside corner. A fastball for a strike.
One of those 3-0 must be in their strikes. That fastball just to get back into somewhat of a rhythm.
This is the most rocky at-bat so far for Weiland, who's retired 3 in a row to start his outing so far. 3-1. Low ball 4 on a fastball. His first walk issued today.
Now batting number 2, Aiden Voiles.
So Aiden Voiles steps up with 1 out and 1 on. That walk was the 3rd of the day for the Oaks. Voiles popped out in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 4th, and had a 2 RBI single up the middle in the 5th. Got a good piece of wood on it. Weiland goes home. Pitch is roped into right down the line, just foul by a foot, maybe 2.
Yeah, that ball just kept twisting down the right field line.
Voiles again making good contact. We've seen him come into his own as a hitter in the midst of a 3-game hitting streak. Last time he played the Riptide, he was 0 for 4 with a strikeout, but the time before that went 2 for 4 with an RBI. Aguilera with a medium lead off first. 0-1, swung on and missed on the off speed. What a pitch there from Weiland. Now it's 0-2 to Voiles. Riptide would like a double play here, but a strikeout is in play. Throw to first. Aguilera's back easily. The Oaks have a day off tomorrow before traveling back to Arroyo Seco to play the Saints. Pitch. Swung on, flied to right, deep and foul toward the parking lot.
Close to home run distance, arguably, there on that foul ball.
Yeah, that would have been quite the sight if Voiles could put the Oaks up 5. He doesn't have a home run yet this season. Another 0-2. Swung on, popped high into the sky, left side, and out of play.
His 2 RBI single was definitely a severe wound that punished the Riptide for their mistakes early on in the ball game.
It was part of a 4-run 5th inning. 0-2 with 1 out. Riptide play the Philippines baseball group next tomorrow. Here's the pitch. Fastball inside, scooped by Romero. Now the count's 1-2. And as we've alluded to throughout the broadcast, if the Oaks win today, they'll have the 4-2 season series lead and be tied in the race for the CCL South top seed in the postseason, but they'll have the tiebreaker over Orange County. 1-2. Tap back to the pitcher. Weiland looks at second, throws it there for 1. On to first, not in time. But credit to Weiland for getting the lead runner on a day when pitchers for the Riptide have had 3 errors already. Those plays aren't guaranteed.
And even more nerve-wracking, as you said, when the Riptide have already made those mistakes, can almost make it harder to trust that they're going to make these routine plays. But Weiland able to throw it steadily to second and get the force. Now he faces Latshaw.
Weiland's done a great job today. Just 1 walk issued, and he's gotten 4 outs. He faces James Latshaw with a runner on first. Voyle stays. The pitch is blasted into right. Dolan dives and makes the play! He extends his glove and ends the inning. That's the second big catch we've seen from the Riptide. And that makes sure that the Oaks can't add any more insurance. After 7, Conejo leads by 3. Orange County will have 2 chances left to get that back or more. We'll be back after this. Top of the 8th, the Oaks lead by 3, and they've got Pearson Howe making his 8th appearance this season. Out there on the mound, Howe, known for working quickly, has a .491 ERA this season in 14 2/3 innings. And he faces the heart of the order first, beginning with the cleanup man, Matt Nako.
Howe's been a reliable arm for the Oaks all season, and Oaks with just a 3-run lead. He's a guy that the Oaks would love to rely on here. He's 2-0 on the season. He struck out 20 batters for the Oaks on the season so far. And it's going to be important for him to just stay consistent.
He throws an off-speed strike to Madden Akko. Gets the slider in there. Last time Howe pitched was on the 9th against the Blues. Pitched 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, and struck out 4. Next pitch, up and in for a ball. And as mentioned, in terms of pace, he is faster than any Oaks pitcher. Already ready to get going with the count at 1-1, but time is called for something in the dugout. Outfield pretty shallow for Akko, who's making his first CCL appearance this season and is 0 for 3. Pitches popped up, headed toward the press box behind the fence, and it lands behind it. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Howe pitched 2 innings back on July 9th against the Blues. Allowed just 2 hits, struck out 4 batters.
Pitch, blasted into center. Mealy chases it straight back. He gets to it and catches it. That was hard off the bat from Akko. Almost his first hit of the season, but Mealy makes the play for the first out.
Mealy tracked that ball very well off the bat, was able to drift back and haul it in.
We've seen him have so much range in center field. He's got a lot of speed. It also shows up on the base paths with his 6 stolen bases entering today. That became 8 this afternoon. Pitch is inside, nearly hits Ryan Castro, who has a single and a 3 RBI double today. He has been mainly the offense for the Riptide. Next pitch, taken for a strike on a sharp cutter, 1-1.
And this is certainly not a game where the Riptide want to have to rely on one guy to get the job done.
Next pitch, up and in, on and off speed. 2-1 to Castro, who now has 5 hits in his 4 games this season. Batted .323 at Mount Sac last year. Next pitch, off speed up again. 3-1. We've seen 3 straight cutters from Pearson Howe. Now he's in danger of a walk. 3-1 with 1 out. The pitch, high on a fastball for ball 4. Castro has been on base 3 times today.
He's been a recognizable face for the Oaks on the bases, and certainly a guy that Oaks have had to deal with a great deal.
Same with Thomas Cernius, who's 1 for 3 today, but a Riptide regular playing in his 16th game. Entered today batting .273. Castro extends his lead over at first. Pitch is high and away on a fastball for ball 1. And Castro, having seen limited action this season, is still looking for that first stolen base of the 2026 CCL year. But he's got a huge lead right now. 1-0 with 1 out. Pitch, check swing. It gets away from Voiles, who gets to it quickly and keeps Castro at first base. Howe looks in on Cernius. Big lead again. The pitch, check swing, called strike. 2-1 count. Cernius jumps back in. Next pitch, low, runner goes. Voiles looks at second and can't get it there. Could be a stolen base for Castro, depending on how it's scored. The Riptide have a much-needed scoring position runner.
And Cernius in a position where he could certainly get that runner home and make it a 2-run game. The most he could do is make this a 1-run game.
It scored a wild pitch, so Riptide get Castro over. 3-1 with 1 out. Here's Howe. Swinging a weak chopper, played by Aguilera at second. He throws off his back foot. It rolls to first and played by Reese. Nice out. Second of the inning. The runner is now on third.
Now batting number 16.
Pretty spectacular play there by Danny Aguilera. He ranged all the way to his right up the middle and had to make an off-balance throw. And that's a trait that, as a second baseman and coming from a former second baseman, you certainly develop over time, and with that comes a lot of hustle, and that's why it really pays to be fast as a middle infielder.
Aguilera still adjusting to that role, a typical third baseman. Pitches low for a ball to Sean Romero. We've also seen him over at first, and he's getting action all over the infield, and he's showing off good second base traits, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think he's adjusting pretty well to a position that might be new for him.
1-0 with 2 outs and a runner on third. Sean Romero is 0 for 3 with an RBI. Pitch is a strike. 1-1 after the cutter. Quick set from Howe, who delivers the 1-1. Just low on a cutter. 2-1 count to Romero. Riptide need to score 3 either this inning or next combined. 2 outs. The 2-1. Swung on and missed on the off-speed pitch. It got Romero to swing early. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at third. Howe gets ready. Kick in the pitch. Outside on a fastball. Count is 3-2. And if the Riptide get a walk here, they'll have the game-tying run come up to the plate.
that would certainly put the Oaks in a vulnerable position.
3-2 from Howe. Swung on and missed. Pearson Howe stalks off in defiance after putting away the Riptide. Orange County strands a runner on third, and the Oaks still lead by 3. We'll take you to the bottom of the 8th after this. It's the bottom of the 8th at Pirate Park, and the Oaks lead the Riptide by 3. 7-4 was the same score the Oaks won by in their season opener at this very field against Orange County. And they'll try to hold it here, or at least get some run support first against Brandon Weiland, who's been really good so far, just 1 walk allowed.
Yeah, he certainly has, and like Petrocelli, he came in when the Riptide were in a very troubling spot back in the 6th inning, and he's been dealing very strong to these Oaks batters. And Zach Mora, a guy who ripped a single to left field his last time up. And another inning of work for Weiland.
Mora jumps in. He also reached on an error back in the 5th inning. Weiland kicks and throws. Swinging a chopper to short, played by Castro, who throws quickly to first and makes the play with plenty of time to spare. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that's Weiland's 6th out that he's gotten.
Now batting, number 1,
An efficient out there, just 2 pitches in. And now Brandon Contreras, who singled way back in the 1st. The Riptide have been able to contain him since.
Been a ground out in the 3rd, a strikeout looking in the 5th on what was a controversial strike 3, and then a ground out in the 6th for Contreras. Pitch, right down the middle on a fastball for a strike. Weiland gets set, outfield deep. Next pitch, low. Blocked by Romero into the left batter's box for right-handers. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Center fielder Rogowski to the right of second. The 1-1. Check swing. It's called strike anyway, as Contreras didn't go around. 1-2 on that pitch that just clipped the inside corner.
That's the type of inside pitch that Contreras was rung up on earlier in the game.
Arguably even more egregious, though.
Yeah.
1-2. Chopped to short again, higher this time. Castro plays it. Castro throws it. It's high. Cernius was off the bag, and Contreras is still out, although it was very close.
Number 24, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, it was a question of whether Cernius landed back on the base before Contreras touched it. It was certainly a bang-bang play.
Yeah, I'm not certain he was out, but the first
me
base umpire
neither.
has a better view. Now it's Owen Mealy with 2 outs. Nobody on. Weiland would like to make this easy to give the Riptide a chance in the ninth. First pitch. Gets past the catcher, Romero, for a ball. Mealy is the only hitter Weiland hasn't faced yet. 1-0 count with 2 outs and nobody on. Kicking the pitch. Called strike right down the middle to Mealy. Mealy's reached on an error twice, walked, and struck out, trying to extend a 3-game hitting streak. Pitch is popped high into right. Dolan runs far after it and gets to it down the line and makes the catch. Dolan's been everywhere in right. A 1-2-3 inning to end the 8th. Just shy of 3 hours in game time, and the Oaks will try to preserve the lead in the top of the 9th after this. Top of the 9th, and the Oaks lead 7-4 over the Riptide. Pearson Howe is out there for his second inning of work. He's in line for the save if he preserves the lead, and Daniel Pueblo would get the win in that event. The Oaks have not always been great in 9th innings recently. They gave up 5 against the Arroyo Seco Saints last Saturday to lose 5-4, but they've been great at home. 14-4 this season overall, and with a win, they could tie the Riptide for first in the CCL South, eclipsing them because of the season series tiebreaker.
Yeah, certainly an important 9th inning for the Oaks to stay locked in here. And, you know, that top of the 9th on Saturday may have been an anomaly, but it's going to be important for just everyone on the field for the Oaks to stay composed, just take it one pitch at a time, and deal with these Riptide batters. And the Riptide, they're certainly not out of it.
Brock Folds starts the pitch. Fastball strike at the belt on the outside corner. Riptide are 16-5 at home, but just 4-6 on the road. They trail the Oaks 3-2 in the season series. 0-1. Just up high on another fastball from Howe. 1-1. Working quickly, Howe's into the wind and the pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Pearson Howe loves to go quickly and efficiently. 1-2 count to Folds, already into the windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up right side, foul. Headed toward the bullpen, chased by Reese, who looks up at it and watches it go. Still 1-2. Folds now 1 for 8 on the season, including his 0 for 3 day today. Struck out looking to end the 4th. Howe loads and deals. Swinging a fly ball foul to the right side. Headed toward the parking lot, still 1-2. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3 on a devastating slider from Pearson Howe for the first out.
Boy, that location was nailed by Howe. Completely froze Brock Folds for out number 1.
The Riptide's offense has been frozen lately. Since the 5th, when they scored 3 runs, they've not gotten a hit, only 1 walk. There's a strike to Nate Pone. Riptide scored 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th. Meanwhile, the Oaks had 2 in the 1st, 4 in the 5th to respond to the Riptide, and 1 in the 6th as there's strike 2 on a fastball down the middle. 0-2 to Pone, the number 9 hitter. Howe already into the wind. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3. And Riptide, all they can do is watch. Back-to-back called strikeouts.
Well, for the most part, all they're doing is watching at the plate in this 9th inning. It looked like a breaking ball from Howe that just dropped right in there from chin high and completely froze Pone.
We'll see if this game ends before 3 hours. Pitch to Rogowski. Strike 1. Same kind of pitch, and it's taken again. Just shy of 7. This game started around 4:03. Howe already into the wind. Here's the 0-1. Fastball gets away. It's just outside, past the mid of Voiles. We saw Will Kaczynski start this game and not allow any runs through 2. Caden Ceramic allowed all 4, next 2 2/3. Then Puebla pitched 2 1/3 scoreless. Next pitch, off speed near the head of Rogowski, who has to duck, 2-1.
And with Puebla being in line for his first win, it would be very deserving.
2-1. Called strike on the inside edge, 2-2. The Riptide are down to their last strike. Pearson Howe wants to get the save. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 3-run game. Here's the pitch. Just low, almost strike 3 to Rogowski.
I'm sure Rogowski saw that one better than we did up here, but certainly a good take nonetheless.
3-2 with 2 outs. Here it is. Swinging a foul ball right side. Rogowski keeps the game going.
Stay alive swing.
Had a good take and then a good fight on that pitch and on the hands. 3-2, 2 outs, nobody on. The Oaks lead 7-4. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss! Pearson Howe strikes out the side in the 9th and ends the game, getting his first save of the season. Just like in the opener, the Oaks win 7-4.
Unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is your ball
The first
game.
and last game of the regular season between these two teams, almost mirrors of each other.
Thank you all for coming and drive home safe.
Bring you up into the booth here. It was a great win for the Oaks today. And just like that, they're tied with the Riptide for the lead in the CCL South playoff race. And because of the tiebreaker, that's going to hold for the rest of the season as long as the two teams are tied. Granted, things can change, but for now, the Oaks are back in first place, and it's a great feeling for Conejo.
It certainly is, and where the Oaks really shined today, I think most, was on their pitching. You got to give credit to Daniel Puebla. 2 1/3 innings. He was perfect the entire game. Came in after the 3-run double by Castro, but Oaks really silenced the Riptide. And for the Riptide, where they really did not shine was their defense. 6 errors, 3 of them by the pitchers. When the pitchers make the errors, it's really salt in the wounds and just makes it hurt that much more. But Oaks were able to definitely make the Riptide pay for those mistakes, and they've got a lot of momentum heading back on the road tomorrow.
Well, we thank you for tuning in this afternoon. No game tomorrow as the postponed game was ultimately canceled between the Oaks and the Foresters. You'll see the Oaks next on Thursday as they pack up to head to Arroyo Seco on the road. Be sure to tune into that broadcast alongside Sammy Fon.